KKCR has been on TV before.
I know, and so if you feel awkward, just
Wow.
remember that we all have faces for radio here and for TV.
And in the booth we have Dr. K, and Dr. K, he hosts a show on Wednesdays, Equally Sovereign. I will ask you, Dr. K, if you don't mind, talk a little bit about yourself and your show.
Yeah, this is different. Feeling a little naked right now.
More vulnerable than usual.
Well, it's not that
Normally,
much.
yeah,
I know
yeah,
since we are TV.
yeah. Normally, we're behind a microphone, and so it's a little more security.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I do my show on Wednesdays. It's called Equally Sovereign, and we talk about politics and human rights, political rights, civil rights, and colonialism and decolonialism and deoccupation. Yeah, I've been doing that show for a couple of years now.
Let me ask you, how did you get into doing your show? What was the, if you will, motivation, or what inspired you to get involved in community media?
Well, I was asked to kind of hang out at someone else's show at first, and it's kind of where I got comfortable being on the radio. And but I think I ended up picking up the show that I do because I was inspired by the movement on Mauna Kea at that time, where it was really a big deal for Hawaiians.
What year was that? Was that 21, 2019?
I think it was.
Like, it all runs together since COVID. Like,
Right.
I lost 5 years, I think.
I think it may have started before COVID because I was already on the air during COVID, so I think the Mauna Kea movement was prior to that.
Prior to COVID.
And I hadn't really had any strong interest in Hawaiian independence or sovereignty, but my family is multi-generational activists, so it was always around me, but I just thought they were just. It seemed weird to me, honestly, because I didn't really understand what the whole big deal was. I grew up doing the Pledge of Allegiance like most public school kids, you know. Yeah.
So was it Mauna Kea then that got you really interested in issues of sovereignty?
Yeah. And then the station is kind of built on the foundation of a sovereignty activist.
Yeah, Butch
Uncle Butch, yeah.
Yeah, which I need to learn more about him.
Yeah.
Like, it would be very cool to interview some of Butch's family members and his friends just to see, like, what made him be interested in community radio, too, for
Right.
sure.
Almost there is a obligation on our part as a, if you will, local media institution to know about the origin and how Butch Keikahu was somebody who said, hey, you know what, we need to have more local content. We need to have the media that we want, that covers our stories. And I think that really is, one of the reasons why we're celebrating Community Media Day here with Hōʻike.
And that to me is like a community taking their power and keeping it to make sure that our stories and what's important to us in our community, in our Native community, in our underrepresented voices, making sure that is put on our media that's for us. And that's why one of the reasons I think community media is so important. So then you got on the air. And was it easy to get a show? Hard to get a show?
To get a show?
Yeah.
I was covering for another show that was had some overlap in topics with the show that I do now. So I was kind of showing up, covering that show, and then eventually that show came to an end, and then I was offered my own show. So I just it was a little bit more talk and a little less music. The original show the show that I was covering was music and talk in between. The show that I do is sort of talk and music in between. So, yeah.
And there's freedom to do all that stuff.
Right.
Yeah. Which I like that. Jimmy, how did you start?
Thanks for liking that freedom, because there's a lot of us who really appreciate the freeform art of it. And it's community radio, and we're not given kind of a playlist. We're not given a set of directives as to what message or what content we have to provide. I mean, there's certain things that we do as an institution, whether it's our underwriters who get mentions at the beginning or at the end of shows.
Yeah, there's
community folks that have a message that they would like to get promoted, and we make space for that. But other than that, it's up to the individual volunteer to structure their show.
Yeah,
how
there's
they want to do it.
Definitely some frameworks. When you have your show, like this is, your show plan is kind of what you need to follow. And then we have the legal stuff that we do, like the FCC rules, that is a thing. And then the FCC sometimes tells us what we can and cannot say, which is frustrating, but we are going to keep following those rules, because even if it feels like no one else is following the rules at this point in the government, we are going to follow these rules just because we said we would. And then the underwriters, we take time to thank them when we say we would thank them, and play their messages at the right times. And then, there's the dirty words that we can't say, which...
I've never said them on the radio. I just want to be upfront and disclose. I have not issued one single F-bomb on the radio, but sometimes the music or the content I play, somebody sneaks one in, and I apologize for that. Every now and then we do have a oops. And you asked, how did I get into it?
Yeah.
I have a friend in community radio. His name is Jacques, and he was hosting a radio show. It was the Homegrown Garden Island Bluegrass Show.
Right.
And we had a mutual admiration of Ron Wiley. And Ron Wiley being one of the well-known DJs and radio hosts. Legendary. And at the time, I was learning how to beekeep with another radio personality, Jimmy Torrio, another Hawaiian activist and beekeeper. And he hosted a radio show at Calm called Island Talk. And that was a call-in format. And Jimmy Torrio was taking off on a trip, and he asked me if I could sit in and host the show. And they had a producer, they had people who controlled all the boards. All I had to do was kind of like this, step into a production space, talking to the microphone clearly, and didn't have to look in the camera, so it was different in that place. But that was my start. Yakadus came with me that day because I knew he admired Ron Wiley, and he was a kind of a radio guy, had a slot with Kauai Community Radio. And a couple of weeks after that, he was doing a radio show. He was engineering for a volunteer who was I would say a part-time resident, but a active KKCR supporter. And Rick C. Was doing a show called The Stump, on the Stump, and he needed an engineer, and that was Yaw Caduce, and Yaw invited me to just provide commentary. And at the end of the show, the station director at the time, station manager Larry Lasota, approached me and said, "Hey, do you do this on a regular basis?" And I said, "This is my first time." And he said, "Do you want to do it again?" And I said, "Well, if I could swing it, sure." And at that time, it was a once a week hour in the middle of the day, so I was able to kind of arrange my schedule. My daughter was going to school up in the North Shore, so I could go pick them up, do my show, take them back to school, go home, and it was kind of convenient.
Yeah, okay.
And that was 2006.
2006.
Yeah.
Okay.
Almost 20 years.
Right. Gotcha. Yeah, and KKCR has been around since 1997.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, I know. This is our birthday month. Right.
Coming at us.
That's right, our birthday month.
And what about you, Annie? How did you get to be the general manager, executive director?
I must have been a mathematical error. I don't know. So I got involved with KKCR because I used to be a bookkeeper for general contractors on the North Shore in like 2002, 3, 4, 5, and then there was no other radio or media. There was barely internet on the North Shore, and so I listened to KKCR in the afternoons while I was working. And everyone became my best friends, and I was so excited. I was like, oh, I know this show. I knew all the shows that were on. I started listening in my car. And then there was a call out like, hey, if anyone in the public wants to help us out during our fund drive, we could use people answering the phones, bringing food up, like standard fund drive stuff. And so I was like, well, heck, I'm not doing anything. And so I volunteered to help answer phones for the radio fund drive. And that's how I got there. When I bought my business, which was Small Town Coffee, which I can mention on the air because it no longer exists, all these radio personalities started walking in. And I recognized their voices, and I just fangirled hard on everybody. Like Den on the I-10 comes in, Ya Kudus comes in, Red Brick came in, like all these people that I had been listening to for years, they're right in front of me. And so I got so excited, and Small Town was an underwriter for a while. I was a member of the board of directors for 5 years.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for, I know, it's like military service, like 3 bars over here. And then during COVID, I worked for a nonprofit organization, Malama Koi, and I sort of got some nonprofit experience. And at some point, I let it be known to the president of the board, who is our tech guy right there, thanks, Hari, over there, that it would be my dream job to be the general manager of KKCR. And it took a couple of years, and here I am.
Thanks for being here.
Living the dream. And I gotta say, the more I learn about community radio and community media and how special it is and how important it is, the more I really love it and I really get into it. Like, and I'm like a weird evangelist for community media, and I think it's just very important and worth protecting, worth saving, worth funding, worth getting involved in. Like, I'm a little nuts about it.
Can I get an amen?
Yeah. You know, like, pass the offering tray around. And just some of the things that can I mention, like, some of the cool things we do at KKCR
Please
right now?
do.
Because we started applying for grant funding because we lost a bunch of funding, you know, and because I want to supplement our income.
Let's circle back to that topic of losing funding from the federal government, because I think it's an issue that both Hōʻike and Hōʻike Community Radio have. Yeah.
So we've been applying for grants to do these funding initiatives, right? And so we'll get some money and do a project. And so one of the projects we're doing right now is the Hawaiian Word of the Day, which we've been airing every day. I think we air it, it's supposed to be 3 times a day, but I think it goes like 4 or 5 as folks like love it.
I play it every show I do.
Yeah, and it's just like super cool. But it's with Kumuke Hao, and she has Culture to Canvas, and that's her business, but she writes the messages and records the messages. We put them in a calendar online that you can go to at kkcr.org and also hear it on the radio, and it's wonderful. Like, that's one of the things that we're up to. And the point of that is if we can get our DJs saying words correctly on the air, then we're hoping that our listeners start saying words correctly as well, and then it kind of perpetuates that language in our general speak. So that's the point of that. I'm excited about that.
Thank you.
Another thing we're doing is the Office of Economic Development messages, the Trash Opala campaign, where seeing a need in the community that our landfill is full, how can we use what power we have, which is the power of our voice and media, to make a change in that. So we do messages every month. We put it on social media. We put it on Hōʻike television so that we can make that change that way. I just forgot another one. The news, because I am very interested in news and how KKCR can fill that gap. So if you ever see us out, or if you're tooling around on the internet, I have a survey that you can take about how you receive your local news, how you want to receive your local news, and how what are issues in our community that you think need to be reported on more. And those are the 3 biggies that we have right now.
Terrific. Annie,
Yeah.
I want to talk about our website. I want to circle back to that because I think you've done a really good job, and I want to talk about your predecessor, Laura Christine, the webmistress, and Lola Wheela.
Yeah, she set up a beast. It has so much information on it, and I'm so grateful for it.
And having that as a platform for non-listeners, so anybody cruising on the internet can go and utilize it as a resource. I think that's a great thing. But before we get into that, just a little bit about Community Media Day, Kauai Community Media Day, and why we're partnering with Hōʻike today, and what listeners and viewers on Channel 54, what they might be able to expect in the next 3.5 hours.
Oh, right. What do we have? I got a schedule right here on our
And I was going to say, I've got a little message or something coming up.
Station ID.
Ooh, a station ID.
Okay, so you are listening to Kauai Community Radio. It's KKCR Hanalei, KAQA Kilauea. And you're also watching us on Hōʻike Community Media.
Boom.
Channel 54.
Kauai Community Media Day
welcome
happening right now.
Yeah, welcome to Community Media Day. And this is our very first live simulcast broadcast between radio and television. And we're doing this to celebrate Community Media Day. Why is this important? Because it's all of our stories that we get to share on the air and on the radio.
And if we don't share them, who will?
Who will? Yeah. As our commercial media is frequently agenda-bound, disenfranchised, responding to the high-dollar corporate interests, that is not something that you're going to get from community media, at least not right here.
Right here or right now. So we have an opportunity, 3.5 hours more of programming like this, maybe some musical interludes. Normally radio does feature a radio jingle or a what would you call that? A musical interlude, and we'll try to provide some of that. But more, it's just going to be talking story with a variety of people coming in to join us.
Yeah, we got plenty of folks coming in to talk with us. We're going to hear the good stuff that's happening at Hōʻike as well. We're going to hear about, they have a lot of very cool, like podcasts, shows, broadcasts. And you can watch them on Channel 54 and also on Hōʻike's YouTube channel, where you can follow them at Hōʻike Community Media. Tell me, Olivia, what is the YouTube channel that you guys have? It's Hōʻike KCTV, and you can follow them on YouTube and watch all of their content there. And they have plenty of programs too on there. So we're going to hear a little bit about that. We're going to have Allegra come in and chat with us too. Looks like we're going to have Leilani Spencer come join us as well. We're going to have some Kauai County Council members come in and talk to us as well as some of our board members at KKCR. And we're going to have music media trivia later on.
Oh, wow.
I'm kind of excited about that.
I'm going to take just a quick little spell from the booth and then find someone to take this chair.
Yeah, we could also use a chair right here because we have 4 microphones. And again, this is Community Media Day here on KKCR. Hi, Leilani.
Good morning.
We'll come and sit down right here.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon. Yeah. Have a chair.
Thank you.
So,
Hi.
so you're going to want to be real close to that mic. Hi. So you do a show on KKCR as well. What do you do?
Yes,
Tell us
we
about it.
do. Yes, we are the Houseketeers, and I and Jimmy and formerly Larry would be on with us, and it's PAL Hawaii, stands for Permanently Affordable Living Hawaii. And on the 4th Monday of every month from 4 to 6, we do a radio call-in show.
Get real nice and close right here.
And
Turn it directionally towards you. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, we learn every day.
okay. And we like to invite guests that are going to be interesting for our radio listeners. Maybe catch them up on things that are happening that they didn't have time to come to meetings and whatnot. And so we try to be as relevant as possible every month.
Nice. I've known your show is very interesting. Like you ask hard questions and you get some controversial guests on and you really get them talking. And I love that. That's good community media stuff.
That makes it fun.
It's fun.
Because we on this little island, we all have lots of opinions, and it's important to hear them all. And KKCR does a fantastic job of being that venue for people to come, call in, and say what they have to say.
Yeah, and I'm grateful for both of you guys for bringing both of these things up. I would say when people people call me to talk about what they've heard on the air, whether it's I loved it or I hated it. It's you guys. Thanks.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'd love to hear some of that feedback, honestly.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Because I notice in our little two-hour period of time, and it is once a month, I know people are driving and all that, but I always wonder why more people don't call, or they hold off and only call in the last 5 minutes when we really don't have time to take the call. So, but we encourage people to call. We want to hear what people are thinking. Obviously, we all won't agree on everything, but how can we even start if we don't begin to hear people, you know?
I feel like I like to hear the different opinions coming in, because that's how I learn, and that's how I can adjust my own views on things, right? Like, I mean, it's good to have people that agree with you and validate kind of what you're representing.
Right.
And obviously, those are going to be the listeners that are tuning in most of the time. But
Right.
but I also appreciate the feedback from people that have differences in opinion, a dissenting opinion, and that's how I grow. And hopefully, people are learning, because there's a lot of people that are not calling in, or too shy to call in, or they don't want people to recognize their voice, but they get to witness the dialogue. And when people when people are disagreeing on the air, people are formulating opinions based on that conversation.
Very true. And
Yeah.
to hear the whole playing field rather than just one side is very important.
Exactly.
It's great to see you in person. I recognize and I know your voice, but I now see the face that goes with the voice. So
I've called
that's
in your
great.
show before, and now that I see you, yeah.
Ah, this is great. All the radio people see themselves
Right.
in person. And if you're listening at KKCR, you can tune into Channel 54 and see us live, too. If you've never seen Dr. K, Leilani, or Radio Annie, you can see us live in person.
Oh, boy.
Because we are simulcasting here at KKCR.
Okay. So
good.
I'll keep looking this way, though. I guess the camera's that way.
It is
We've
over
got-
there, yeah.
Okay, so I thought there was multiple cameras, but maybe.
They're all over the place.
Okay.
This is a big deal for us, guys, because
Yeah.
the lights are bright. Here we are sitting at a table, and then there's cameras all over the place on us, and we can see the technical stuff on the screen over there.
And we're not in the jungle.
Not in the jungle. We're in the middle of town. Doc's over there with his headphones on and all sorts of cords and wires and stuff. Like, this is big.
Yeah, it's exciting. So we'll be broadcasting our show next Monday, 4 to 6, from right here, too.
Right here.
Because we had
Excellent.
Max on the show as a guest last month, and we kind of figured it all out, and I think this is where we'll be. I'm so excited about the collaboration, too.
Does it make you feel a little bit like Rachel Maddow?
No.
Because you could sit there and be the host of a show, and it'll like pan over to your guests, like awesome, right?
Wow. Someday when I grow up, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
She's-
What are you gonna have? Who are you gonna have on the show?
Well, we've been talking about it for a while, and it finally gelled, kind of perfect timing, of climate change. And I don't know who all of you have saw the film screening, The Ocean, that was at the Performing Arts Center at KCC, and it was a full house. It was a beautiful film, narrated by David Attenborough, but some of the collaborators were also there, and there was a really big piece as well from a local organization. So the timing was just right, and one of the folks that was on the panel that they did beforehand was Bill Unruh, who's with the Hawaii Climate Commission for Hawaii State. And I had met him previously because he came for a listening session about climate change. So they are formulating a plan about this, whether or not anyone believes it. We're coming up with a title. I was thinking climate change, true or false, or fact or fiction, because there are people who don't agree. So, but anyway, Bill will be our call-in guest, one of the call-in guests. And then I ran into a really interesting individual who is a PhD and a scientist, and he works for an organization that's researching in Alaska the intense effect of permafrost, which basically it means that things, because of climate change and the temperature is rising, that what they usually have is a layer of ice, but it's starting to melt, and buildings even are starting to collapse and everything because of that in the interior of Alaska.
Ooh.
Heavy.
Okay.
And so we're all being affected. And he was a really interesting man. I met him through my work at UH Manoa, and he was interested in participating. Because when we think about that, we think about glaciers and polar bears, basically, right?
Yeah, I don't think about it making a city collapse or fall down.
Buildings coming, right.
Yeah.
And it's real. So I thought it would be interesting to have him tie in. And then at the meeting that I met Bill Unruh, we also had folks from Planning Department, because they're talking about plans, and Planning Department has just put together a huge plan. And so everyone kind of chiming in about all these things. So it's climate change.
That sounds like a very interesting show.
So if we can
Thank
think
you.
of a fun title, because my social media wizard, Raquel, wants a title. So I said, okay, play with it. I'm not thinking about that right now. Working about the logistics of it right now.
So that will be your show?
That'll be the coming up, Monday.
Okay, great.
Next Monday, the 27th.
Very
27th,
interesting.
Live from Hōʻike
Live
Studios.
from Hōʻike.
Simulcast on Kauai Community Radio.
Right.
So,
I think
great.
it's very, very timely, like, as you said, with the film just came out, and it's all over, I guess it's an international topic at this point. And you have a lot of celebrities speaking about climate change.
The film was beautifully done, and at the same time, as encouraging and awesome it is, because he did show evidence that if left alone, the ocean can heal itself. Rivers can heal themselves.
But
the
we're not
catch
gonna leave
is
it alone.
if left alone.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen Sir David Attenborough's address to the Security Council of the United Nations? He's been speaking to the United Nations for years now, but in 2015, I think
Is he still alive?
Well, I don't know if he's still alive today, but he's been.
I meant to look that up.
I'm going to ask the internet
He's
right
been
now.
he's been an advocate.
I think so.
Yeah, for a while, but I'm assuming he is
looks a lot
alive,
older
or
than he
he
did.
only recently passed, if he passed. But
Right.
let's not
Let's find that out.
let's not make any assumptions
meant to do
about
that on
that.
my
But like,
way home.
I hope he's alive.
He is still alive.
Yeah, okay,
Great.
because it was looked very recent.
He is 99 years old.
Yeah, that's what he said. That's what he said, almost 100 years on the planet. I thought, wait, what? Because he looks really good, considering that.
But like you were saying, you made a comment about like whether people believe it or not. I think that.
Or is it a hoax?
Well,
I think that's the word.
I think
that
that's we can look at it that way, but I think we live in a post-truth society at this point. And what I'm trying to say is, what if you do? First of all, there's plenty of scientific evidence that it's real. Climate change is a real thing.
Yes.
But what I want to say is that people live their lives according to very unscientific things. Like
Yes.
They live their lives according to astrology. They live their lives according to what they see, on Twitter.
The moon is cheese.
Exactly.
That is how I'm living my life.
People have
And the
religions.
earth is flat, too, by
People
the way.
follow
Isn't it,
religions
though?
which are inherently unscientific, right?
Right.
They follow prophecy. They live their life according to that. They do all kinds of things according to that. So let's just say that climate change is at least as worthy as those things, right, to follow, right? And but I do want to say, like, we can judge it based on what are the behaviors that people that believe it, what behaviors are they adopting versus people that dispute it, and what are their behaviors, right? And like, I feel like we can look at that, and then we can also look at why do you believe it versus why you not believe it, right? Because something got us to that
Well,
point, right?
it could very well tie into the fact that, but I don't want to reduce my footprint on the planet.
Well, that's what I'm saying,
Okay.
right?
It has,
And to me, that's
usually
not.
It comes back to me.
That's not credible. To me, that's not credible.
No.
When someone says, "Well, I just don't want to do it," right? Because I prefer my worldview and I just want to live my life the way I want to live it.
Well, it's similar
is-
to recycling on this little island. Believe it or not, we are coming to the brick wall that we're running towards fast. Well, but does that change people's behavior necessarily?
Right.
Unfortunately,
And
not so much.
does it change large corporations' behaviors?
No, and
because we, the little people, middle class, are the ones that bear the brunt of social change, and that go out of their way to recycle. A little, I've said this before on the radio, like 12-year-old girls quitting using aerosol hairspray. That was a big deal because I personally was putting that hole in the ozone layer with my large bangs in the 80s. And so I adjusted behavior based on that. Did that stop rivers from catching on fire in the Midwest in 1980, whatever? No, it did not. You know? And so I think that the climate change movement is being fueled by middle-class folks, and it needs to be adopted by corporations.
Absolutely.
Well, see, and the corporations they benefit from saying it's fake science.
And deregulation,
The corporations are the ones that benefit the
That
most,
was the
really.
shocking part in the film, because I said some of it was very encouraging, and then by the same token, they were showing the commercial fishing boats that are unbelievable, and it's a giant rake, and it just scrapes the bottom of the ocean, which is destroying the coral reefs that take years to come back.
Yeah.
So, and that's not happening with just one ship. It goes on and on and on, and that's a big corporation type of thing.
Let's take a little break right now for a station identification, and we have a message to play at the bottom of the hour as well. Take it away, Doc.
You're listening to Hōʻike Community Radio, Media Day.
Seabird fallout season is September 15th through December 15th.
Community Media Day, and you're listening to KKCR simulcasting live from Hōʻike TV in the heart of Lihue and downtown on Rice Street. And we're right here. We're in the studio. This is our first simulcast. There's lights on us. We're radio people, so we're very, very nervous.
Kind of, yeah, because I have a face for radio, not for television.
I know. I brushed my hair this morning knowing that people were going to see it.
Well, and you wore a nice, if you will, radio-friendly...
I've got a frock on. Yeah, so...
The frock is going on.
Yeah, it's going on.
I was sporting some logo wear, but it doesn't really show up well on camera. If I turn my back, it would be.
So this is Radio Annie. I'm joined in studio by Jimmy T and Leilani Spencer.
And we're going to be here next week.
Yes,
I
4 to
was
6,
hearing you talk a little
Monday,
bit about climate
27th.
change, and I wondered, are they talking about next week's PAL show?
Yes, we
Yes.
are. Absolutely.
Terrific.
I just reached out to an agency in Hawaii that studied climate change. They just got defunded by the government, and all their funding got taken away, and they shut down their offices.
Why are they doing that?
I reached out to them to see if I could get one of their representatives to talk on the radio on my radio show called Stay Safe, which airs the third Friday from 9 to 11 every morning, every month, just to see, like, hey, without that climate change agency, does that pose risks for our safety alerts and our safety? Are we more prone to climate-related disasters without people researching it and talking to us about it? Is that a thing? So
How concerned should we be?
yeah, but they don't have people in the office answering the
Just like
emails
the air
anymore.
traffic controllers and the TSA and all with the government shutdown. No, we are all affected by everything. Unfortunately,
It is a thing.
It is a thing.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that we can learn some of the cool stuff that's going on with Hōʻike as well.
You know, and I was just talking to Allegra and Trisha right before coming into the booth, and we were talking about, okay, when do we want to do that, if you will, segue? And they were like, just tell me when. So I said, I'll be a runner. So maybe I shouldn't have sat down as quickly as I did, but that's what I did. And
Right.
we'll bring them in because we have the ability to
Well, here we go.
Just like
Yeah, and it's
ask,
happening.
and we shall receive.
I know that you can watch a lot of the programs that they do.
I'll make space
their
right now, and
producers.
we're introducing Trisha Allen.
Yeah. Oh no, just like yeah. So tell me what you guys do. So we're getting Trisha Allen in here, and she is going to. Oh, use the curtain. Yeah, because it's so good.
That's a nice entry.
Yeah.
Now you do have the face for TV, like.
Thanks. I had to put some mascara on because I forgot this isn't just going on the radio. So
Oh yeah.
I'm
also
used
on
to
the TV.
having
I know, I forgot
my face
too,
done.
so, sorry.
I brushed my hair. I was worried about it all week. What do I do?
brushing your hair.
Yeah.
You did a good job.
Thanks.
That, the dog's not here either.
Yeah, no Wilson. I
Right?
wouldn't let him come. Usually the Hound of Music comes to the radio station with me, and he talks on air from time to time.
Oh, does he?
I
The
know.
Hound of Music?
The Hound of
That's
Music.
Good. That's
Mhm.
good.
That's his name. And he probably would be sitting in this chair right here.
Yes.
With the,
Yes, or under here.
yeah, exactly.
We could have made space for him.
I know. He is
It's okay. Next time.
precious. So, Trisha, who are you? What do you do here at Hōʻike Community Media?
I am the community outreach specialist right now. That's my new title. I was news and events producer, but we've kind of changed gears with some of our programming. So I'm still doing interviews in the community. We put out a show called Community Connections
Yeah.
that I help produce, which also makes me a producer. So those are the two hats that I wear.
Two hats. So anyone can be a producer at Hōʻike, is that correct?
Yeah, if you come in and get certified through the producer certification course, yes, you can be a community producer. And then you can make your own content. You can rent our equipment to do that. You can come in and use our edit bays to edit your stuff, and then we'll air it on Channel 54. And if you're anything like Pam Zerker, who is actually out in the edit bays right now, she's here every Monday, you get your own channel on our own little playlist on our app that we also have as well.
And that is amazing. Like that is a fantastic service for people in the community to get their message out there, or to just
A creative outlet.
A creative outlet, all of it. Like,
Yeah.
that's an amazing service.
And it's great because a lot of the things that are happening around the island, like a lot of people hear about through Coconut Wireless, or, now there's Facebook and stuff, but there's nothing like being able to tell your own story to the rest of the community in your own way, and sort of use your creative juices and have that as an outlet to do it. I mean, there's a lot of creatives out there that really like to tell their story that way, rather than, just put it on Kauai Rants and Raves.
Right,
So.
exactly. And you can be more artful of it. You
Yeah.
can compose a thing, a message, and really bring awareness in new and creative ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
Allegra was the other guest on our radio show last month, and so I learned a lot about Hōʻike. I was really excited. I went right home after the show and found it on YouTube.
Oh, good.
Because I don't have cable, but you don't have to have cable nowadays.
No, you don't.
It's awesome.
We have a YouTube channel. We also have an app. So you can watch Channel 54 live, or 53, whichever you like, if you download the Hōʻike app, and it plays through like your
Yeah.
Apple TV
I
or
put it
your
on my smart TV
Fire Stick.
immediately. I went home and got it all lined up immediately.
And that is a really cool thing that I want to mention about community media is that for anyone who thinks that radio and television and cable are antiquated, it is not so, because we are able to be flexible enough to respond to listening and watching trends and to pivot. I said I was never going to ever use that word post-COVID, but to pivot to how people are listening and watching.
Yeah, it's kind of like meeting people where they're at.
Exactly. Yeah, and so the community media on Kauai has taken those changes. So we have an app, you can use a YouTube, so you can watch these shows at your leisure rather than having to tune in at 8 o'clock on Tuesday.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's great. And you can do that same thing with KKCR too. We have an app, and you can go to our website and you can listen to the archives, and we're responding with all of that stuff too. So
That is one thing about media, is the ability with which we can just sort of switch gears like that and adapt. I feel like media, this sort of medium, for lack of a better word, is just very adaptable. And that's another really great thing when it comes to community media is without that adaptability, we wouldn't be able to connect to the community as well as we do, because the community changes, so do we, and so that it all ties in.
Yeah.
And this place is unique in that so many people here wear so many hats or have multiple jobs, and so everybody has different schedules and timing. So if it can just be accessed when they're finally off work or whatever, that is a way to reach people who would like to know the information. And in the past, you know, if there was a county meeting or something, you just miss it. Or the film showing, for example. If you can't be there at a certain time, this really fills in those gaps, which is awesome.
Yeah, I like it too.
Yeah, again, like I could talk forever about how valuable I think community media is. And I nerd out about it. Like I'm really pleased to nerd out about it.
You're not the only one. I do too. I know you probably do too.
Yeah, right. I'm excited. I went to school for radio, television, so the fact that I actually have a job in this field is kind of exciting because it's
You're the one that gets to use their education.
I do get to use my degree. Woohoo!
It's so rare.
Yeah. Hey, and I want to welcome Allegra Gaines to our chat here. She is the CEO?
Yes.
CEO of
That's it.
Hōʻike Community Media.
Hi.
Nice
Hi.
to see you in
Fancy
person.
title
I
and
know.
a huge office, by the way. Like I'm not expressing my envy at all, but huge office.
I mean, it is. And I keep my little dog in there too, so it's just it's her playpen.
Someone used to bring their dog. Awesome. Thanks for joining us here today. Great. I want to talk about some of the good stuff going on at Hōʻike as well. Tricia, you host a show called Community Connections.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
It's a show to kind of shine a spotlight on the community, what's happening, what's going on, organizations, people, events, things that are happening, just giving people a bit of an inside look into that, whatever that may be. So
Yeah, what I really like about it is that it's kind of a deep dive, and like because it's TV, you can really see and connect with these people who she's interviewing, and she does a great job doing the interviews. And I think it's super informative, but it helps people to kind of see before they have to attend a class, before they have to walk into something that maybe they're a little bit nervous about. They get to watch these people in action, and I think that's a really valuable tool for our community.
yeah, and it also, how you see flyers about events and like there's just so much information on the flyer and you're kind of like, huh? Having somebody who can just kind of like very simply tell you all of what that means, in an entertaining couple minutes. I mean, they're not super long. It's also a podcast, so if you want to listen to it, in traffic or whatever.
Yeah.
It's either too much information on the flyer or not enough
Exactly.
information on the flyer. I've run into both of those situations.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who do I, wouldn't it be nice to call somebody? No, got to email somebody. And then it goes round and round. So it's good to fill in some of those gaps. Definitely.
Yeah, it definitely is. And a lot of times when I'm sitting with the person I'm interviewing, I don't do a ton of prep. And there's a reason for that, because I want the questions that I ask, I'm assuming other people are asking too. So like those weird ones that like wouldn't be on the flyer anyway, to just ask those questions, get them out of the way, and then people who are listening or watching are like, oh yeah, I was wondering how that was going to work.
I think you specifically have a talent for that. I would be terrible if I didn't prepare.
I just like to talk. I mean, that part comes
Tell me
naturally.
what's on your flyer.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
I've noticed that with KKCR DJs as well. Like everyone does their show differently, and we don't, we're not going to dictate how you do it, just as long as it happens, you know.
Right.
But some people will plan their show to the second and write down all the things. There's a dude on Saturday who does not know the next song he's going to play while the current song is playing now. And I'm somewhere in the middle of both of those things. I'll make 3 hours worth of music and choose here and there. But it doesn't matter how it happens, but as long as people get what they need out there.
Yeah, exactly. It depends on what kind of anxiety you enjoy. Do you like your plan to not go as planned, or do you like to just see what happens?
Yeah,
Yeah,
what kind
I
of
like-
anxiety you enjoy.
Yeah. Depends on your flavor of anxiety. Yeah.
I kind of like the middle too. I like to plan somewhat so that I'm not sitting there lost. you
Yeah.
know. But then again, I wouldn't be disappointed if it's straight off. I like it when that happens.
Yeah, some of the fun stuff happens when you don't plan it.
Definitely makes it more interesting.
Yeah, and it keeps you on your toes, keeps you loose.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just me. I don't know.
But on the radio,
terrifies me.
there's the fear of the dead air, so we don't want that.
Yeah, that's
There's
true.
a plan in place, and you know the next step, then boom, you have it. By the way, we all sort of color coordinated, aren't we? Look at all this.
Yeah, it wasn't planned.
This white and dark color theme.
Right?
It's a nice palette.
And you wouldn't have known that if it was on the only on the radio.
That's true.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I didn't know there was a good way to enter the place, too. So I'll exit that way.
That's one of those impromptu fly by the seat of your pants things that, as we were setting up, I think Olivia pointed out, people could just kind of like walk through the curtains, and I was like, let's do it.
I mean, it's
Very
so,
talk showy.
Yes.
It's so Jimmy Fallon. Right there.
Yeah.
Very
Should have
Jimmy
made a
Fallon.
bigger entrance.
Make everybody dance to a song coming out.
Totally good.
Yeah.
Like, where's my band?
Do a game or some kind of
The
a
roots.
fun thing,
Absolutely.
right?
So if you're on the radio and you're listening to the radio and wondering what our sight gags are about right now, so we're in Hōʻike's studio. We're broadcasting live from there, simulcasting for the very first time. And so we're sitting at this big conference table. It's pretty cool. And we've got comfy chairs. And the lights are cripplingly bright. And we've got these curtains behind us and plants like the two ferns. It's
a beautiful
It is similar to Two Ferns, which we try. you know?
Yeah, like I could definitely say some off-color things if you need me to. And then directly across from me is the green screen. So if we were gonna start broadcasting from the Taj Mahal or anything, it would be right. We could.
Yeah.
That's it.
We would have to flip 180.
Great
But I'm not
setup
scared.
here.
Yeah.
Big change from the log cabin building that I remember from a very long time ago.
Yeah, no, it's an awesome building. They did a really amazing job. This happened before I came on board, but yeah, when I came in, I was like, this is incredible. Like, I did not know this existed. And they're like, well, because it didn't, really, in this space for very long. And they bought it and moved in before COVID, so then everything shut down. So I think, it is just a couple years in the reawakening. And it's just an awesome space, and I feel very lucky that we have this space.
Hey guys,
Thanks for joining us.
there's a vault, dude. There's a vault with like the whole like screw on the wall and the big like.
It's our filing cabinet. Very safe filing cabinet.
Oh, yeah. Nothing's getting
All
out of
your
there.
data is safe in the vault.
Yeah, in the vault.
And there's even like the when the door shuts.
Oh yeah,
It
it's
does the
when
whole
we
thing.
have students come through, that's their favorite room for sure. They're just like, wait, what? What do you have there? I'm like, you can open it. Just be careful when you close it because it is so heavy, that door.
Yeah.
It'll take your hand off for sure.
Huh. Is the room big in the vault?
I mean, I would say it's about a quarter the size of this room.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because Kalu also, converted from a banking, and you walk in. I'm sorry, no, the shared space in Lihue at the shopping center.
The
And they converted
Kuleana
from
AI
First Hawaiian Bank,
workspace?
but their
Oh,
vault
yeah.
was about this deep. It was
Oh.
only about 2 feet deep. And
Oh, no. This is a room for sure. And then there's a door in the back that's locked. That's another tiny room.
So it's even like vaultier than the
It's
vault.
like Get
yeah, you'll
Smart.
have to take a tour after this.
I
Now,
want to
yeah,
see that.
now you have to
Go
see
in
it.
there. Like it's like cask of Amontillado or something. Where you're just gonna brick me up there, like, hey, know what? I'll sit in there for a while.
It's actually terrifying because there's a breathing hole inside that's like if you
I'm
get
sorry.
locked in, this is your
Here's
like
how you breathe.
Here's how
so
you breathe.
it's probably soundproof too.
Yeah.
So you go in there, close the door, and
We've
get all
thought
of your
about putting a
yelling out.
podcast studio in there. However, there's no air.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
that's
so
a problem.
because it's a vault, how do you break through to put air in? That was kind of where, if anybody knows, send us a quick DM.
It has a breathing tube, like a snorkel.
Exactly.
I am not, okay. I'm not going in there.
Yeah,
Not
so
like that.
we wanted some AC. It gets a little warm, and like a nice podcast space because it's soundproof, but we couldn't figure it out yet.
Hey, it'll keep the podcast shorter.
That's so true.
No, I was thinking just have that be an anti-anxiety, yell as loud as you want
Oh, yes.
to, and then close the door and you're done with it.
Hey.
Come out.
Oh, there's plenty of room for that right now. We can just start doing doing that.
There we go.
Oh, yeah.
As soon as we're done with the show.
I think that's a great idea.
Okay.
Staff, did you hear that? Everyone?
I'm in.
And if Hōʻike needs to make some extra cash, and we'll be talking that in the next hour, but you can come and scream. It's
Yell
just
space.
$5 per scream.
That's
I
right.
love that
And you
idea.
go in.
This is brilliant. Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
not funny. I used to do that when the kids were all wild in the back seat and say, okay, we're almost at the bypass, when it was more quiet, right? We're almost at the bypass. Okay, close your windows, and now yell, scream as loud as you can from the beginning to the end of the bypass. By the time we got to the other side, they were chill, ready to, go home and settle down.
And your eardrums survived that?
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Impressive.
No, I joined in. Oh,
did you?
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Yeah. It does help.
I'm learning so much today.
See all the things that you can learn on community media.
Yeah.
Anti-stress techniques.
Yeah, I love
my
that.
daughter's not listening. They laugh at me. Mom, why'd you say that?
I love it. I love it.
So you've got Community Connections as your show. Where can people watch that?
They can watch it on YouTube, our YouTube channel, also our app. It's going to be just kidding. It's not on the app, but it is on Channel 54.
Great.
And our website as well. Is it listed on our website too, I believe?
Yes, it is. Yeah. Well, you can get to our YouTube page through our website. So
I see.
You go
Okay.
under Watch and Hōʻike Exclusives, and you'll see all of the Hōʻike exclusive shows that the staff are creating.
Yeah.
And then there's also a section for community producers so that you can see all the shows that our community producers are creating.
Yeah. And Kauai Voices is another one that I have done in the past, but now Smita has come on, and that's sort of her kuleana now, and she's killing it. So
Yeah,
unfortunately, she's sick today.
Yeah,
so
she
she
would
can't
be
speak
here.
for herself. Yeah.
But she's doing a great job taking it over. That show specifically is more of a evergreen style show where Trisha has a lot of stress because her show is, they kind of have to come out before the event comes out, and she's trying to get people in, and you know how people are on Kauai, planning ahead of time to do something is, so she's got her hands full. But the Kauai Voices show is more of an evergreen show. It's a show that is about people, and Trisha started that show as well, but it's about people on Kauai who are doing great things, and it's very random. I mean, it's kind of great, but Smita just released her first 2 episodes, making it her own show, and she did it on 2 artists on Kauai, and it's a really lovely show about, one about Opala art, I believe, with Allegra Scribner, about her art and how she picks up beach trash and creates awareness through her art of all the trash that's washing up. And then Tyson.
Is it Trison?
Trison, that's correct. Trison, who has this really amazing healing journey story, had a few brain injuries, and is healing through his murals that he creates, and they're really spectacular murals.
They're incredibly amazing. Yeah.
And so we just released it on podcast as a double feature on a podcast, but they're separate episodes on YouTube, as well as on Channel 54. But they're really lovely. They're very short and sweet, and I would highly recommend checking those out because those people are pretty cool.
An evergreen show means it's not timely. It's a feature piece of people's stories.
Exactly. So it's not going to expire. Like, if she interviews somebody about an upcoming event, that show will eventually expire. I mean, it will definitely still be interesting, but it will not be, that event will have passed. So an evergreen show, Max's shows and Smita's shows are evergreen shows because they're just about people in the community and not necessarily about an upcoming event.
Evergreen. I like it.
I think that was Olivia's term, so thank you, Olivia, for that.
Olivia is doing the TV tech over there, thanks to her.
Yes,
and then
she
we've
is.
got Doc on the sound equipment for KKCR over there. He looks super cool with his headphones on.
Yeah, it's too bad
and
we don't
his
have a camera
stuff.
over here to.
I know, we do need a
Catch them.
behind-the-scenes camera.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, we'll just turn one around.
Yeah.
Just flip
good
it.
times.
I don't know how to, otherwise I would tuld totally mess it up.
We'll figure it out.
It's a good thing we've got people. that know all of the cool stuff. And if you want to get involved with Hōʻike Community Media, what's the number that people can call or stop by? Or
yeah, 808-246-1556 is our number, and that's, if you want to become a community producer, you just want to stop by and check out the space. It's good to create an appointment just so we know that you're coming, so we can have some staff member that's waiting to accept you with open arms. But you can also just stop in and check it out. And you can reach us at tv@hoike.org. You can check out our website at hoike.org. And then, or, if you know any of our staff members, just connect with them and they'll bring you in. But yeah, it's a community space. It's a community center, and that's something I keep trying to reiterate is like, this is a community space. It's for you. So come in and tell your story and learn to tell your story, because that's what we're here for. That's our whole mission.
Yep.
And you do have a feature that's pretty desirable in downtown Lihue, is parking.
Yes,
Okay.
we do. We have our own parking lot.
That's a big deal.
It is a big deal. And we also have an open mic on Tuesdays where people don't have to be certified producers. They can just make an appointment with LACO up front, call that phone number, 808-246-1556, and make a 10-minute appointment. You only get 10 minutes on air, but you get to say or perform whatever you would like.
Yeah. I watched some of that content. That was very interesting.
It's entertaining, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And you can find our open mic reruns on Channel 54 as well as on our app. And on our website. It's under the community producers section of our website, and it's just called Open Mic. But yeah, it's there.
All right. I shared that I rushed home after the radio show last month and got the app and got everything all tied in.
Nice.
So that was great.
Yay, great. Yeah, thank you.
Well, so we're coming on the top of the hour, and that's the time when Kauai Community Radio has to do a few legal bits. But in the next half hour, you and I are going to talk community media.
Yeah, we are. Don't know what's going to happen, but it'll
I
be
know,
exciting.
this is very freeform.
It's very freeform.
Freeform media right here.
And I will say aloha, because I got to go to a board meeting now.
Yeah, I'm so glad you stopped by.
Great, it's
Thank
wonderful
you.
to see. I'm so delighted about this space. It's exciting. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and remember to tune in to Leilani's show next Monday from 4 to 6.
4 to 6, Monday the 27th, and it's about climate change. And we're also having a representative from Surfrider here locally.
Oh, very cool.
Chime in on
Very cool. And that will be our second simulcast.
to the topic. Yes. And I'll come down another time and organize.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Yeah,
Great to meet you guys.
Yeah, great to meet you as well. Yeah.
Awesome. So we're going to send this over to Doc right now to do our top of the hour. Thanks, Doc.
You're listening to Kauai Community Radio.
All right, so we're back. So this is Community Media Day, and we are simulcasting. Is that the right word for it?
I'm saying yes.
Okay,
yes.
Cool. We can invent anywhere that we
can
want
because we're community media.
Yeah, and it's all free form. It's all happening right now. So we're live on Kauai Community Radio as well as Hōʻike TV.
Yes.
And that's
Channel 54.
Yeah, so, and I'm Annie Caporuscio. I'm the executive director of Kauai Community Radio.
And I'm Allegra Gaines. I'm the president and CEO of Hōʻike Community Media.
And I was really tickled because we got our jobs at basically the same time.
We did.
And I thought, what a great, like two women in charge of our community media on Kauai. I was like, this is awesome. What can we do?
This is so cool.
You know, we get together, we have coffee, and we talk about all the possibilities that community media can do, both radio and TV, things we can do together. And then also recently sort of commiserating on the state of public media.
Yeah, no, it's been a journey. Thank gosh you're here, like, with me doing this, because I think we need this commiseration coffee talk time.
I think so too. And one of the things that gets me, like, we sometimes talk about how nobody else on the island has our jobs, and so who do we talk to about it? You know, so I'm really glad that I have you. Thank you. Just like super weird. So the commiseration part is all the funding woes and sort of the I want to say demonization of public media in political spheres.
Yes, that is so true. It's interesting too, because I think we have different but similar, you know, monetary woes, because just the zeitgeist in our world right now is very much anti community media, or just anything small and grassroots, you know.
Yeah, grassroots storytelling is not a priority, it seems like. Whereas I think that it can do so many good things.
Yeah, and I absolutely love what you guys came up with, which was something about, what was it, like, escape the algorithm. Because we do have a lot of storytelling happening from individual people telling their stories, but you do get lost if you're seeing that on social media and you're seeing that on YouTube. You get lost in the algorithm and you don't get to escape. And I think one thing that is so great about community media is that if you tune in to the radio, you're tuned into the radio and you get to hear whatever is coming out. And it's same with, you know, community media on television. It's this really interesting and cool way to be exposed to things you might not have been exposed to before, and you probably won't be exposed to if you're just getting your news or anything from social media and YouTube.
Yeah, and it's one of those ways, like I look at community media as a way for community problem solving, and we're not going to solve problems if we sit in that vacuum of what we already know and already believe and already have on our plates. If you can get other people to that dinner party.
Yes.
I think that's where you get that.
Yeah, and it's so wonderful because it's so local. It is really about Kauai's problems or Kauai's stories, or it's about Kauai. It's not about anywhere else. And we're here for our community specifically, and we're funded for our community specifically. So I think it's hard for people to wrap their heads around the fact that we're here for Kauai, you know, and we're not Oahu and we're not anywhere else. We're the resource here.
And then there's critical services that happen, and I talk about this a lot on the radio. The critical things that we do, like emergency broadcasts, and I'll always point to the tsunami time when we were on the air forever about things, and so we can get those alerts out there. We also do those problem-solving things. We also have like problems online that we can talk about, and then hopefully with the solutions. Talking. So as community media as critical infrastructure, and I want to emphasize that as we can be that lifeline for people that maybe don't have that.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, and I really respect what you guys do. It's definitely harder for us to be on TV running those, you know, amazing updates for the tsunami, but I mean, we could broadcast what you guys are doing, and
Absolutely.
it's really amazing.
I mean, I'm stoked on the content sharing that we're able to do, and I'm like so excited about it.
It's very exciting.
Can we? And we also so TV and radio have different kind of missions, but also different regulations, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, are you allowed to talk about funding?
Yeah, community media, we're definitely allowed to talk about funding. We're not allowed to ask for, talk about ticket pricing for events, that sort of thing. We're not allowed to do anything commercial. So I think it's pretty similar in that way.
Yeah.
But anything else is pretty open.
Pretty open.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, if you're wanting to come into Hōʻike to create a commercial for your business, that's something we have to say no to. But to create a PSA for something that you're doing in our community or for your organization, your nonprofit, that's totally acceptable. So, what's interesting is community media stations across the nation all have kind of slightly different gray areas that they choose to interact with differently. So it's kind of
choose your anxiety, choose your gray area.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, exactly. But no, we really just can't do commercial content. And the other thing we can't do is the FCC definition of obscenity, which is actually a very high bar, interestingly enough. So I think we can, most things can be broadcast.
Wait, tell me what the high bar for obscenity is.
I actually
without examples.
Yeah, no, I mean, I believe nudity is one of the things, but it's like you can be nude, but it can't be, pornographically nude.
So just like on the off chance that I happen to be nude on the television,
exactly.
That's okay.
And we would broadcast that after 10 p.m.
Okay.
That's our little thing, help for the community.
That's nice. So if you were nude on the radio, no one would
know.
So we don't have a nudity clause at Kauai Community Radio.
And I respect that. That seems way more fun, But the visual element definitely, makes for interesting content, and also I think more difficult it can be, to just hop on and do something live like this. So like props to Olivia and Trisha, who are really running the live aspect of this.
Yeah, I'm really impressed by all this happening.
It's really amazing, and they're doing a great job. So it's challenging to set up all these cameras. We're surrounded currently by cameras and lights, and then also the audio aspect. So good job, you guys.
Great job. Great job.
It's amazing.
Tell me about, so you can't air music. That's the thing.
Right. So copyright, anything that's copyrighted. So people who air their content on our channel, we don't watch everything. There's no possible way that we can watch everything that people drop off. So you have to sign some paperwork saying you've checked it for copyright material and that sort of thing. But generally music is the hang up, because people don't really understand that you can only do, I don't know what it is. Trisha, do you know what the amount of music that you can play with? It's something like 15 seconds. But we as Hōʻike have uncopyrighted licensing with an organization that licenses us some music. So that's what we use for our internal. But when people are creating their own content, we just have to hope and pray that they don't use too much copyrighted material. But it does happen. But it's on them. They signed some paperwork. So, but yeah, music is hard.
That's a hard one. Okay.
Yeah.
So on the radio, we have we're part of the National Federation of Community Broadcasters, and they help us out with paying those royalties. And it is much cheaper than it would be for a commercial radio station because we're non-commercial, but they do that. One of the things that's up in the air right now with the CPB, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, no longer being in service. It's shut its doors, actually. So one of the things up in the air is, how are we going to get those music royalties paid? Who's going to take care of it? Who's going to compile all of the research for it? Because in order for us to get those royalties paid at KKCR, it's a whole full-time position. Like, it's very expensive just to figure out how to do it regularly, and then pay the royalties. Like, that is cripplingly expensive. And I know that
so much work.
There are the organizations out there that help small community broadcasters. They realize that stations like ours, small, rural, that cannot possibly do that. And, what's 70% of our programming is music. And it's like, how would we get that done? So that's one of the crises facing, community media is like, how do we pay those royalties?
Yeah.
And then of particular importance to me is that that I want the Hawaiian musicians to get paid for their art that we are able to air. We've got 40% of our programming is dedicated to Hawaiian music and affairs, and I want them to be paid for it. And so
they deserve to be paid for it.
Yeah, honestly. And so I kind of need that to be solved in the community media realm.
Yeah.
I don't know how to solve it on my end, but I'm just like throwing my support behind the people that do know.
I mean, you're out there with how many other nationally that are dealing with the same issue. It's like, it's amazing how many people it's affecting.
I know. And they estimate that 99% of the U.S. lives within hearing distance of a community radio station. Yeah, and that's important stuff too. And because that's access that everyone has to this sort of content that's very hyper-local, hyper-aware of what's going on in their community, very timely, very, and also very weird at times too. And, I kind of make it a point of pride that we're a little bit odd, but we're reflecting.
Yeah,
what's
you
going
are.
on.
Yeah, I it's the same here. We're a little odd too, but I think that's what's so special is that there's not a corporate, top-down control about what we're doing. And I think that's what's so important about what we're doing is that it really is controlled by our community. So if it's a little weird, that means our community is a little weird. And I love that, I love that. And it's an important aspect of what we do, because at least those weird voices are being heard and are able to feel a connection to the fact that they can make a difference, Yeah. Like I think a lot of this time has come with some hopelessness feelings, and I want to let people know that, we're here for you to come share what you're feeling and also to make stories about it. And both of us, that's what we're here for, is so that you can share with your community and find people who, can help or share those, same feelings with you. And
yeah, agreed.
It's all about connection.
And then it's kind of like in this, turbulent time, or however you want to call it, the particular media climate that we're dealing with, it's important that we accentuate our value to our listeners and to the community that we serve too. And by accentuating that, it's just saying that we're more than a radio station. We're more than a TV station.
Yeah, we're community centers.
Yeah, so sure. That is an important piece. And then our community is also very, how do I say this? You're lucky to have us. But it's like, that's sort
you say it just like that.
I know,
that's
it's very
perfect.
arrogant, but it is also, we are lucky to have these stations in our community. And so when it comes to getting involved, you're welcome to do that. When it comes to giving and donating, you're also welcome to do that too. And I know that you guys lost some funding.
We did, yeah. We lost $113,000 this coming year. So we are making some changes, and we are definitely, I've reached out to ask for donations, and I think that is something that hasn't happened with Hōʻike before. So the response that I got was, I thought you guys had your funding in the bag. I thought that was just given to you by cable subscribers, which is true, but it's definitely not enough anymore to run the station. because of the political climate and because of, just it would be kind of, a 2-hour thing to go into what happened to our funding, but it was totally a surprise when the Spectrum franchise was renewed. Complete surprise out of nowhere that they're deducting 3% across the county, and we have to pay for 1.5 of that out of our franchise fees, which comes to $113,000 for next year. And every year that could change. So, yeah.
Without any warning,
no
so
warning.
That you can make plans.
No warning.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was, and there's a whole franchise renewal process. And, you get to go and you get to go to these public meetings about it. And none of this information was written anywhere for even us to have a public comment on. So that was very surprising. It's definitely detrimental to what's happening here, especially since Hōʻike has been growing, and we have amazing staff that you've been meeting, and they've been out in the community doing amazing work, and there's just no way to continue doing any of that if our funding continues to be cut. And the cut actually has nothing to do with us. That's the part that's really fascinating.
Yeah.
So yeah, when I say, Hōʻike is starting to look for donations, we are a 501c3, and we can accept donations and are going to need to start to do that to survive and to keep these wonderful people out there in the community helping you to tell your stories.
Yeah, and it's a weird one. I know when people, like say when you're writing grants, or when people want to donate to the sexy things. Like they want to buy an antenna, they want to fund Hawaiian Word of the Day, they want to do things like that. But the very unsexy things like insurance and electricity,
unbelievable.
Those are the ones that are really going up, and those are the expenses that go towards what we need to do.
Yeah, when you look at our financial reports, you're like, what? How are those the insurance costs?
I know. The insurance gets me. We pay $33,000 for our electric.
Yeah.
And that's because we have multiple transmitter sites.
Oh, yeah.
It all needs to be air conditioned, and it's all, a very high yield transmitters and things like that.
Yeah,
and that's
incredible.
That's the stuff that most people don't want to pay for, but it's like that's the critical bits.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
And so we're both sort of in that weird, how do we make changes? I've been doing our budget for our next fiscal year, and just think how do I reduce without crippling us?
Exactly. And how do you reduce while still letting the community know that you exist? Because when you're reducing and you're pulling back what you're doing, then people less and less know about you, and then less and less want to support you. So it's this huge balancing act of how to make this work.
It's a weird, people talk capacity and stuff and everyone's got these ideas and stuff. It's that one seems very busy. But it's and I'm sure you're probably I'll try anything. Let's go. Idea?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we are idea. That's one really amazing thing about Kauai, I feel. And I've, worked in other nonprofit organizations. And one thing is that we're incredibly versatile and flexible and maneuverable because we're small.
Maneuverable.
Is that a word?
Yeah.
I think
it
so.
Is.
And we're able to move quickly into areas that are needed by our community because we're small. We're a small community. We're a small organization. And it allows us to be the community has a totally different idea of what we should be doing. Let's just start doing that, just kind of move into that area. And I really appreciate that. And my staff definitely has dealt with my little whims of maneuverability.
I like that you call them little whims. I come in and I get to the office at the station, and it's oh my gosh, I think I can change the temperature in a room. And then I watch everyone's just get a piece of paper, just oh my God, what do I have to do now?
What are we doing?
but like it's all like
try to keep it positive, you know.
Yeah, I'm just like just because I'm excited about what I get to do, and it's just like very interesting, fun stuff as far as I'm concerned.
It is amazing. It's amazing. Like Trisha was saying earlier, it's amazing that we get to do this work. It's really incredible work. It's fun work, even when it's stressful. Right? I'm getting eyeballs from them over there.
Yay.
But it's really, you know, it's creative work. It's constantly changing, so it's not boring. But it is in this climate definitely stressful, especially I think for those of us that are trying to keep it going.
Right.
Yeah.
So then KKCR lost $83,000 in funding, and that was from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. So it's a different reason that we lost funding,
right?
But still sort of that, dare I say, weaponization where they're trying to cancel public voices.
Yeah, yeah.
So we have $83,000 from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, and there are several organizations nationwide that are trying to keep up that support for small, rural, native or tribal stations like KKCR. And so I'm involved with them obliquely. There is an issue where NPR is suing one of those organizations because they were shortlisted for some grant funding from the CPB. CPP decided to give it to another organization. What I like about them having given it to the organization that, I mean, A, I'm involved with them, but B, these guys will ensure that money goes towards smaller rural stations where NPR was going to most likely make that money go towards NPR affiliates. And in KKCR's case, 97% of our content is made on island. We don't get NPR shows. We're not an NPR affiliate. We are only us. And so we would not have been available for some of that money and support.
Yeah, that's something that I think I needed to learn and have learned from you is that it's not the same. You guys aren't the same as HPR. And I think that was surprising and confusing. So
okay.
Yeah, so tell the Hōʻike folks about it.
So what it is public radio is non-commercial radio. So NPR or HPR, which is the Hawaii Public Radio, that is it's non-commercial and it's a nationwide focus, or in HPR's focus, they're maneuvering to be more of a statewide focus. Community media is public media. So Kauai Community Radio is public radio for the island of Kauai. So we happen to be community radio, so we're very local, very hyper-local. We make it, and most of community radio stations focus directly on their community and their mission. So our mission is the island of Kauai. We focus on Kauai voices, Kauai people, Kauai music, Kauai content, all of that here. So we are public media. We're just much smaller, so they get to community media. So same stuff.
And you're not buying all those NPR
right
shows.
Because I don't have to. We have 70-odd volunteers.
It's insane. You guys have it going on up there.
And that's a difference between Hōʻike TV and the radio. We've got a schedule. I've got 70 volunteers. They make their show every week or every other week, and they are doing it.
They are there. Yeah. I know, that's really incredible. So we're ready to steal them whenever you're willing to give them up.
Right. Well, we can share it possibly.
Come on down. So, make some TV content. It's a little more complicated, I guess, but it's super fun.
Super fun. I believe you. But I am so proud of our volunteer DJs.
It's amazing.
And the content they come up with, like you get to have the nerds of that genre or that topic or that something. Like if it's the The dude who does the comedy show on Wednesdays, Andrew, he is fantastic with the watering hole. He really gets his comedy in. We have the Garage Band show on Fridays, 4 to 6. Solid Action with Stevie D. These guys are the ones that know this music. Willie Judah and the reggae shows, they know that music. So you're getting someone who is passionate about what they do and putting that on the air. And I couldn't be more proud of our volunteers.
Yeah, and what an amazing outlet for your volunteers who are passionate about this. Like, where else could they do that and be heard? That's really amazing.
I know. I'm so into it. And so if you want to support the work of community media and public media on Kauai, even if you don't live on Kauai, we have plenty of listeners who have visited Hawaii and then taken us home with them. Definitely, you can head to our website at kkcr.org. You can make a donation there, or you can click around and see how you can become involved.
Yeah.
And then
same. So you can donate on our website as well at hoike.org, HOIKE.org. I love that. Click around and see how you can become involved. That's fabulous because there's a lot of ways.
Yeah. My website, I'm going to brag right now. It gets more than 1 million hits in 3 months.
Amazing.
And I always say about 10,000 of them are me seeing if I screwed anything up. But still 1 million hits. It's a very robust place that people click around and learn about their community and everything. So I'm really proud
incredible.
of it. So is there anything else about community media that we need to touch on as the poobahs of our community media on Kauai?
Boy, I mean, we talked a lot. I would say, man, I wish we kind of had an audience participation hotline.
I know. I don't know how to work that out in the studio.
We'll get that up and running next year.
Yeah.
We'll have that
Definitely
for Community Media Day.
And I just want to say that community media is a little bit like your brain. We're not using all of it. It's a little bit like my iPhone. I'm not using all of it to its potential, and I'm excited about it because there is so much that you can do with it.
So much, And come in and bring your ideas because that's what we need. We need you.
Yeah, honestly, like when Andrew came up with his comedy show, I was like, we've never done that before, but heck, let's try. We have a poetry show. We have a cooking show.
That's amazing. A radio cooking show. This is amazing.
Yeah, and so I'm excited about this. And so your ideas can hit the air, and really you can make a difference in your community with community media.
Yeah.
So
100%.
Good. And then we have some bottom of the hour messages on KKCR that we're going to be doing right now. Are you ready, Doc?
This is KKCR Radio, your Kauai community radio station, broadcasting from Media Day today. Thank you to our
with Hōʻike TV so that we can kind of showcase how good community media is and what we can do, what we want to do, cool stuff that we can do together. My name is Annie. I am the poobah at Kauai Community Radio, and I'm joined with my counterpart Allegra Gaines here on TV. We are simulcasting We're live on Hōʻike, so we've got the bright lights and right in the middle of the big city, and we're also simulcasting live at KKCR.org. And we're also joined by Max Richardson.
Aloha.
And Olivia. Hello. What's your last name? Franco. Yeah, good one. Hi, guys. Welcome.
And I want to point out that Olivia is not only sitting on camera, but just ran behind the camera to change angles and views and has been switching us back and forth on live TV. So, killing it. Yeah, nice work. Yeah, multiple hats for sure.
Freeform TV and radio.
Yes.
That's community stuff is. I often think of community TV and I think of the VHF with Weird Al's movie like forever ago. How similar is it to that?
I haven't seen that movie since I was a kid, but
which is the right answer.
but if that movie's as ridiculous as it probably is, then I would say fairly similar.
Fairly similar.
Very similar.
I'm overjoyed to hear that.
I've been waiting for somebody to come in and film like an Office version, but for like Hōʻike, and like just I think it would do really really well. Yeah, I think it's like it would be an awesome show for us here because there's some fun drama and some weirdness,
So, sometimes working here is like being on a sitcom.
Okay.
Or like something happens and you look at the imaginary camera and you go, you can't make this stuff up.
Yeah. It's pretty great.
It's true. I do wish sometimes there was a camera following me around that I could just look at it right in the eye and go, and then make like, some sort of look.
You saw that too, right?
Yeah, the Jim Halpert thing.
Yeah. And then just go back about my day. So I imagine that you guys have that.
We do, yeah.
For realsies. And then, counterpart at the radio, I should probably have a weird narrator on there too, where every so often, in a world where...
Yes.
You got to get David Attenborough. That's who you got to get.
Who is 99 years old, I just learned.
Really?
Amazing.
Yeah,
wow.
I just learned it up through the beauty of the internet.
He still has the voice of an angel, man.
Right. And speaking of the internet, you can tune in to KKCR.org and listen to us live and at Hōʻike TV.
Yeah, Hōʻike.org. And actually, our channel 54 does stream live to our website. So if you don't have cable, which I kept forgetting to mention, you can go to our website at Hōʻike.org, go under the heading Watch, and watch channel 54. So that's where we're at right now. So
and channel 53 goes there live too. It's just you won't see
us.
This show right now.
But you'll be seeing channel 53 is our government channel, and channel 54 is our public access channel.
Can we call it K-SPAN?
Oh, I like that.
That is.
Okay.
I mean,
we should.
It does feel really official.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm good at naming
Changing the
things.
website now.
Yeah.
I'm good. Ask me how many roller derby names I've come up with.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it's good. It's good. So Olivia, I know that you're wearing like more than one hat and probably a scarf right now too. What is the show that you produce at Hōʻike?
So the show that I produce is the Kauai County Council update. So it went from like weekly to like every so often, just because the county council doesn't really create meaningful, we'll call it content every week, because there are shorter meetings and stuff like that. But it's recently been like only like 60 to 90 seconds. And so that's kind of an interesting thing. And we started with our council members speaking to the camera. But I realized that they talk for a while, and their points get a little lost. They are.
Yeah, they do.
They gave me a very thorough thing of like, like Anini Beach access or something.
Yeah.
But when all that needs to be said is like DLNR is going down there, then we came up with the 60 to like 90 second format that I've been doing for the last couple weeks. And one's coming out tomorrow too. So
do you send that to KKCR?
Yes.
Awesome.
It's in a wonderful Google Drive folder.
Yeah, I love it. And I also love not knowing how that happens too. It's best that I stay in my lane and just not deal with that.
Just appears there one day.
Yeah, and I would say 60 to 90 seconds is much easier to listen to on the radio too. So thanks.
For sure, yeah. Trying to break it down into important chunks so that people don't need to watch the whole like 4-hour thing last week to understand.
K-SPAN.
Yeah, she does a really amazing job of breaking it down and throwing in some little snippets from the actual meeting itself and just making it really easily consumable so that people, that's why we're here. So people can easily interact with our community in a way that is easy and straightforward. But also, those meetings can go on forever. And so being able to catch up on what's gone on without having to be there is pretty cool. We also do air the full meeting as well.
Which sounds riveting.
Riveting.
But thank you for making those little bite-sized chunks for us. Why do you think that, you go to all the county council meetings. Why do you think people need to know what's going on with our county government?
So to me, I guess I've always been engaged in local politics, like growing up here, like in high school and community organizing. So I think it's really important that like people who like have to like pay their rent and like pay their bills are still like tuned in to like what's going on at county council. And I guess the ask like between like watching Severance or trying to like catch up on like county council, like which one do you really want to do, right?
Yeah.
So I guess that's why it's important to me, because I know that I have like the strength to break down the meetings and write scripts and act it all out really quickly. So the community deserves to know, I guess, rather than being like kept in the dark, because
and how old are you? Like, I just want to emphasize, like, this is impressive because of your age.
24.
24. Okay. Do you know a lot of your contemporaries that are interested in county council stuff?
What do you mean?
Your friends.
Oh, like my friends?
People your age.
People your age, yeah.
They are not as engaged as I am, I guess, if you will. They tend to just, like stay on TikTok or Instagram or
which is where she puts some of her updates.
I also do put it on TikTok.
Yes,
so
and they get some crazy like
views. 7,000 views on one of my council updates on TikTok. Yeah.
Okay, and that's another example of really meeting people where they're at with the media. Too.
Yeah. So, yeah, a lot of people my age, I like collaborate with myself, I guess, on social media too. So the people who are already following me, like from being my friend, also see the Hōʻike content, I guess.
Yeah.
To try to like reach that lower age demographic.
Is there something that you're very surprised about that happens in county government? Like, whoa, didn't know that was a thing, or like, or something that you find really interesting about it?
I guess like what's surprising for me is getting people who are like really passionate, I guess, like, I heard someone talk about Mauna Kea earlier, about how like that emboldened him to organize and to get into the community. But it's kind of like watching someone go through like the 6 stages of grief. Like they're really like passionate, and I see them like testify and make social media posts. And then I feel like I slowly see them like kind of wane, like after their issue is done, or like if it's just like, and it's merely because like the county council is limited to our county, like there's a lot of issues that people want to see addressed, like the earlier this year, like with the falls in Kapa'a or in that
Kapahi,
yeah, so
Hōʻike Falls.
Yes. So but it's kind of like a weird puzzle piece, I guess, you know what I mean, like with like what the state does and what the federal government is going to ordain, with so it's that's kind of the most interesting thing to me, is that like the people who do stick around, I guess, they're not discouraged by bureaucracy. I've been told a lot of times that like the government functions to be transparent and not fast, right? Like there's like 5 meetings for a singular roundabout in Kapa'a, and everyone was like, that's a horrible idea. So there's benefits and drawbacks, but that's the most surprising thing, is like people who are not discouraged, I guess. So yeah.
Like, I personally am frustrated by how slowly government works.
Oh, yeah.
So I love the nonprofit sphere because I can make a decision, get community support, get support of my volunteers, and like we just go. You know, where it's like, it's a little more flexible with that. But
100%, yeah. Nonprofits definitely get it done. I guess like if there was like a sticker, like, and they come by all the time to like get certificates from the county council and stuff to get recognition, because where the government can't do, or, you know.
Yeah, it adds some legitimacy to what we do.
For sure.
So,
Yeah.
I always find people confusing what is in the state's kuleana and what is in the council's kuleana, like who does what job. Like I'm always like,
yeah. So it's something that's come up all the time, you know, like when people testify and stuff like that. And, you know, the county council is not devoid from like receiving funding from like the federal government, you know, the Department of Homeland Security. Like, why are they giving $60,000 for like a shipping container for the KPD? So all of these kinds of items are broken down. And what I guess I like, so when I was growing up and watching county council, which is such a strange thing to do, by the way.
Yeah, it does sound really.
They would go for like.
I have questions about like maybe proper nutrition.
Yeah. Well, like double the amount of time, right? And so what I like about this current council staff or council members is that like they will very like publicly be like, okay, we're explaining this for like the public, because like they know that people tune in, I guess, to like, so your point, like between like the state and the county, I feel like they move efficiently, I guess, like, because I've seen some really slow council meetings and really drawn out with other council members, like when I was a teenager. But it seems they go fast, and also like, but they stop, like especially when they notice, like, so last week there was a ton of testimony about the trees that were potentially getting cut down in the Kaua mobility project. And so we took their testimony first and like a presentation and everything. So I don't know. I just like that our current county council, I guess, is aware of that and tries to break that like state versus county thing really clearly, I guess. Like, I mean, I make a script and stuff about it, and I have to like understand it. But recently, it's just been really simple, I guess, to understand between like, okay, this is why this is happening, or this is happening.
Okay, and that seems awesome to sort of help people understand the process while they're doing it.
100%. You know, like a bill like enters, and it's going to take like 2.5 months maximum, or well, minimum, just to get like things done. You know.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I think that answers the question, I guess, between like the state and the county. And honestly, like the only like word of advice I have is like, if you have a question about like whatever that may be, to just reach out to council staff. They've been really responsive, I guess, with other community members, because it just doesn't hurt to ask, you know, like, and other counties, I guess, learn from each other. We're not like, no, this is Kauai, like this is the only way to do it. But especially like Maui and Big Island, who've implemented legislation, if you see something that's like interesting, like they already, so right now, I guess last week, they are introducing legislation to ban like styrofoam core bodyboards. So, you know, like the stuff that's made, like the coolers are made out of. So like people just like leave it by a trash can in a county park or whatever.
That's good. So I just want to let people know that you're listening to Kauai Community Radio and Hōʻike Community Media. We're broadcasting live from the headquarters of Hōʻike.
I like that.
First simulcast, and it's Community Media Day, and that's what we're doing. We're talking with Olivia Franco, who does the Kauai County Council reports.
Yeah, she's the government producer and social media manager. She wears lots of hats. She also teaches classes.
About
classes.
And she's, you know, with Trisha running this simulcast on television. So.
Yeah, lots of things to do in that. And I know, like, I just got to visit HPR last week, and they have so many people that do so many things. But in your community media station, it's the four of us doing everything.
Yeah, we've got six staff members, and 4 of them are producers. So anything that you see come out of Hōʻike are either helped along by or created by our 4 producers. So it's pretty amazing, actually, what they're doing.
Yeah, you're actually, if you're watching this, if you're watching the video version of this, you're looking at fully 50% of our workforce right now.
That is true,
at this table.
That is true.
That's fantastic. Thank you. I learned a lot just now. Yeah. Also, like, I had originally thought, like, why are they throwing this poor kid in the county council reports?
Oh, now you know.
Yeah, because you're the nerd for it.
Yeah.
And,
Now you know.
And I say that with admiration.
Yeah.
Nerd. Yeah, like that.
Yes.
We used to have John Gordon do the county council reports on Hōʻike Community Radio, and they were short, sweet, and he had an 88-year-old voice, you know. So
that doesn't usually go along with short and sweet.
Yeah, super short and sweet. So we got some vibrancy from you, and I'm really pleased about that. Thank you so much.
Hooray. Yeah.
Also sitting with us in studio on our Community Media Day is Max. What do you do?
What don't I do? No, I am, my official job title, I guess, is IT and Production Services.
Okay.
So I fix stuff and I make TV shows.
Good. What kind of shows do you do?
I have 2 regular talk shows. One is called Talkin' Trash, and that is with me and Allison Fraley, who's the Solid Waste Division Chief for the county. We're the 2 hosts, and we talk about the garbage crisis on Kauai and the landfill being full, the challenges facing us when it comes to trying to get a new landfill that isn't full. Excuse me. I'm a little under the weather today. And we also talk about things you can do to keep stuff out of the landfill. So it's called Talkin' Trash, but a lot of the time we talk about recycling, best practices for recycling. We talk about composting. We talk about reduce, because it's 3 R's, right? Reduce, reuse, recycle. So we've had guests on from nonprofits that repurpose old clothing or repurpose old implements of various kinds, right? So
and just to keep all that, and that's about, to me, responding to a need in the community and how flexible community media can be.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, because if we were a network show and we had to sell ads and stuff, we would never put up the ratings to keep that show on the air. Not enough people are interested in watching a talk show about garbage, but
it's really
important.
It actually is a very interesting show.
It's important, and the host is really charismatic and a snappy dresser, and I am too. But no, I think Allison is a great host. I think if government if she ever decides she's bored of government, she could have a future in television easily. But
trash talking on
trash talking.
But and then the other show I have is basically the same format. It's a video podcast style talk show, but I'm the only regular host, and then every month I have a guest that is a first responder of some kind. So I've had the police chief, I've had the fire chief, I've had the chief of the Ocean Safety Bureau. I've had a 911 dispatcher. I had the chief of KEMA.
Gotcha.
So, emergency response people.
I love disaster stuff. I don't love it. That's a horrible thing to say.
Sounds awful.
I understand
That
what you
sounds
mean.
awful. But I'm very passionate about programming to keep people safe.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that is one of our functions, and that's really important to me too. So I'm on your side on that. I host a show called Stay Safe, and
really?
I engineer a show called Deep Dive into Water Safety.
Ooh.
I feel like there is potential for some crossover between our shows.
Yeah, you need to come on.
Yeah, we could definitely talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, you're an Island Alert, station. So
we are the local power too.
Yes.
Which means that we are critical infrastructure to alert the county about what's going on for disasters.
Well, there you go for another interview subject.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So I just that's 15 seconds of me. No, we have a lot about it.
I want to just jump in because I have to leave to go pick up my children from school. But I just want to say that all of these shows that these creators are making are archived on YouTube. So Max's shows are also evergreen shows that are relevant. So you can go back to the beginning of Talkin' Trash and Island Alert and watch them all. If you want to find it on our website, it's under Hōʻike.org. Go to Watch, and then go to Hōʻike Exclusives, and you can find the way there to YouTube, or you can just find us on YouTube as well. And they are also all podcasts, so they have to go through an extra step to create these podcasts where they rip the audio from the shows, but there's some extra special things that they do to create the podcast. But if you would like to follow us on Apple or Spotify or all these places, we have the Hōʻike Podcast Studio. So if you're a driver listener, while you're not listening to KKCR, you can tune into Hōʻike Podcast Studio. And it has, you know, we don't have nearly as much content as KKCR's got going on, but we have some really lovely shows.
A zillion people.
Yeah,
too.
it's so great.
So.
But yeah, if you're, and that's honestly how I consume a lot of my media is through podcasts. So I was very adamant that we must start podcasting.
And that's a thing that KKCR is working on too, because I would like for us to work together, do that podcast thing together, and then create this everything about Kauai sort of podcast.
I'm on board.
Like a whole platform.
Yeah, I mean, come to this platform and you get all the podcasts being created on Kauai. I mean, why not?
Yeah, and I love it. And I got a meeting with a guy, and then we could do a thing. And
yeah, we're so on board.
In that vein, there's two things where I have to give big ups to Allegra, because one, Talking Trash, that was, I came up with that idea. Island Alert was Allegra's idea, and that is a popular and good show. So thank you for devising that.
Good.
But also the whole podcast thing was your idea, because I remember everyone, including me, who's usually on board for everything, everyone was skeptical. Like, dude, we're a TV station. And how good is a video with no video, you know?
Isn't that a thing, they have video podcasts? Is that like what the kids are doing?
Yes.
Yeah, and that is actually what my two talk shows are, is their video podcasts.
Okay.
So, you know, we were all really skeptical, and we were all like, no, boss, don't do that. And she was like, well, here's the deal, we're doing it. And you know what?
Way to get
a little whim. Remember we were talking about little whims?
That was an excellent idea, though, because our podcasts get listens. They put up better numbers sometimes than our video content does. So, and
the power of radio.
It really is. It's really, you know, it's easier sometimes to be listening on the go, or just, you know, while doing chores in your house. You can't always just sit down and watch, and that is a challenge that I think TV media does face. It's a little bit harder to consume. You know, unless you're a child with an iPad in our current age. And then I can't even believe how much my son consumes on YouTube. But, you know, it is definitely a different threshold to cross to get people involved.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there is that I can distract myself with whatever I want when you're just listening to things.
Right. So I was like, yeah, maybe the podcast can be sort of the gateway drug into Hōʻike.
Totally. And in retrospect, it was very smart. And I listen to podcasts all the time while I'm like driving or mowing the lawn. And to bring it full circle, I recently made an episode of Talking Trash, which is a podcast, which features me driving and mowing the lawn. Because it's all about a practical demonstration of how to get rid of your recycling. So,
well, I'm going to head out, but I really appreciate you guys being in here, and you know, Jimmy really was the person behind getting this community media day together, because I think Annie and I were tired. We're tired.
I can't imagine why.
Well, you know, we're media modules.
It's crazy right now.
Yeah, but also with the political climate, and then like I like to just point out the weaponization of against public media, which we are. We have our hands full looking for money, fundraising, perhaps changing operations. You know, we've been doing that a little bit at the radio station too, to make sure that we are utilizing all of our resources to the max capacity.
Yeah.
So we're bringing our best value with what we have.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you. Thank you to Jimmy. Thank you, because I don't think this would have happened without him. And then of course, Olivia and Trisha just jumping on board and being like, yeah, we're going to make this happen.
Yeah.
And you know, that's not their favorite thing to do, I have to say. Like just, you know, throwing a curveball at them, but they are highly adaptable. And I really appreciate both of you very, very much. And thank you for making this happen. Yeah.
Thanks, guys. I also want to give a good thanks to Doc, who's on the radio sound right there, and our schedule, and also to Andrew, who is in studio right now. He's the catcher. So catching our broadcast and putting it on the air right now, too. So thanks, guys.
Farewell. Farewell.
Yeah. Thank you.
See you later, boss.
Look for more partnerships between Allegra and I as we do TV and radio together. So we've got another 3 minutes until we do our legal top of the hour stuff. What do you guys want to say about community television?
I have something.
Yeah.
So a couple of weeks ago, we got a grant from Spectrum for $5,000, and the whole purpose was to like create a different type of like media. I wouldn't even call it literacy, but we purchased iPad Airs with them, and so we got camera equipment for the iPads to use them as cameras. And so recently, I don't know if it was last week or the week before, but it doesn't matter. But we had 6 students come in, and I taught them how to use their iPads and their mobile devices as like good mobile storytelling devices, like rather than take out the camcorder or a traditional camera.
Use what you have.
Yeah, and it's an all-in-one editing package, I guess, for them, because instead of having to come here and like open the SD card and sit here for 4 hours, they can edit it while they're at home or whatever.
Do you only do these classes for kids, or can you do them for like
I do them for
50-year-old
everybody.
women?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
So you can go to hōʻike.org and then go navigate to the classes and then call us, and then you'll schedule with me to see when you can get certified.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, and then usually you take them out like a library book, like 3-day periods. But I've been advocating for like 5 days, because if you're editing on the iPad too, it's just easier for you to just keep it out from like Monday through Friday or something like that. And so I was at like a community event on Saturday, and one of my students actually took out an iPad. Which is kind of like the full complete circle that she got certified.
Yeah.
And then she took out the iPad to go make a video about this community work day at Malamahulia or at Alakoko. So it's awesome, and it's super fun for everybody, because like I love my pro cameras, but the iPad can do a lot of good by just,
the convenience. And the other cool thing about the iPad is that once you learn how to use an iPad for all those things, it so easily and intuitively scales down to using your phone for that.
Yeah.
And your phone is something, you have a pro quality video camera with you in your pocket or in your purse at all times. But
100%.
if the big deciding factor in whether the video you shoot with that will be good is in skills. So you get the skill set.
The skills and the editing is the biggie for me,
right.
too.
You get the skill set in the iPad course.
Used my phone to take sound bites at the No King's Day protest on Saturday, edit it, and then if I could figure out how, we'll be airing some of those during our broadcast today, too. So time to do a little bit of station identification here. Take it away, Doc.
right.
Especially those that
in the booth, and going to be joined by our next guests. We have a couple of different guests that are going to be joining us, but first, Councilmember Addison Bulasan bringing his youngest sweetheart. How's that? Welcome, welcome.
How's it?
Good to have you, sir. Thank you for joining us here on Kauai Community Media Day here at Hōʻike Studios. And you're in the, if you will, pops mode. Really appreciate seeing dads with the youngsters on their hips, or as in your condition, right there in your chest in the baby carrier. Love it.
Yeah, this is awesome. Thanks for having us. We're stoked to be here.
Mm-hmm. Addison, how old is Kila?
Kila'a is 18 months, so at some point he's just waking up, so you might grab the mic and start talking stories.
That's all right. We got 2 mics, one for him and one for anyone else. Yeah. And Tiana, I'm going to ask you to step on up too, because we've got an open mic, and we'd love to get you to join the conversation as well. Right here, it's an open mic, and Kauai Community Media Day has been a, if you will, a very successful endeavor. We're learning a lot about the difference in radio and TV, because we're both on TV and radio. And,
wow, look at us.
Yeah, exactly, broadening our capacities as we speak. And so it's really, I think, helpful to have skilled operators behind the scenes. Both Tricia and Hari are making the technical parts of this work, and you and I just get to talk story.
Fantastic. So does that mean we're multimedia?
We are multimedia. We're sharing, we're cross-pollinating the platform, streaming as we speak.
I love it.
Yeah. And Tiana, DJ Cutie Beats here on Kauai Community Radio. You do a show on Hōʻike as well, The Simple Life.
That's right, The Simple Life.
Tell us a little bit about The Simple Life and your show on, is it The Simple Life on Kauai Community Radio as well?
It's both on Kauai Community Radio and on Hōʻike. It's called The Simple Life. It's pretty much, it's about the simple life, you know, just living the simple life, and, you know, about healing and growth, you know, personal growth. So there's some sound bowl healing on there. There's some soothing music that I do every day on KKCR. I also have I always have a theme on KKCR, you know, something for the listeners to relate to or to grow from, whether it's, you know, the shadow self, or, you know, getting control of your ego, or something like that, followed by some inspirational music, usually instrumentals, you know, that allow one to get into their body, you know, and into their head and figure out what's going on in there. So,
love it. Thanks for joining us today. You're also a member of the KKCR Board of Directors, the Kekahu Foundation Board of Directors. One of several, I don't know how many board members are. I'm joined by Hari, who's also a board member as well.
And Alana just walked in too.
There we go.
Yes, you want to grab us?
Alana's in the house.
We've got 4 mics. We're good. I don't know how long, Addison, you're going to be able to hang out with us. You got a youngster, but we did want to hear a little bit about good things that you're doing here in Lihue. I want to just say thank you for hosting KKCR at Hale Lihue for, what was it, a week of our fund drive just last month. So thanks for making space available and being a big supporter of community media.
Yeah, absolutely. That was awesome. So stoked that you guys are able to come. And you guys are coming back for the Rice Street Block Party. You got 4 live DJs coming out to mix on vinyl from 4 to 8. Hallelujah on Saturday, so we're super stoked. And we still have actual vinyls that you guys brought over that we are fundraising for KKCR, so that's super exciting.
Oh, part of the merch that is being distributed by some collectors, folks that do still play vinyl. I know you're one of them.
No? Well, I mean, kind of.
Yeah?
I bring my whole DJ board in, so it's electronic, but...
there we go.
Just a heads up to whoever's listening, there is some gems in there. I mean, talking about like some ones that you probably can't find, some originals in that. So anyone who collects vinyls, stop by. I swear you're going to find something that you just be like, what? This is for donation? You should donate a lot.
Oh, there we go. So that's it. You guys have, if you will, a little inventory of what would be fine, usable vinyl. And some have been donated to KKCR. I know we often get listeners, members who have moved on and their collection is of value, and their family members like, what are we going to do? We don't even have a turntable. And they make a donation to Kauai Community Radio. We get some product that way. So thanks for helping us raise some funds for our community radio, as well as add vinyl as one of those inputs to our landfill. We had Max Richardson talking trash earlier on today's program, and that's one of those things. I know, Alana, it's an important issue for you as well. While we're talking about the county trash issue, Addison, what's going on with the council these days?
You know, we've been working hard, and it's going to be an interesting time this end of the year. Typically, we're in the meat of all our bill proposals that come usually in this last half of the year, mainly because the first part of the year we focus on budget, we focus on the federal government, the state government as they open up during their sessions in January, February. So right now we're making sure that we can get what we can get done in these last couple months, but also we are ramping up for what next year is going to look like, and that's one of the difficult parts about this year, is that next year looks pretty challenging. Right now is really challenging. Right now is challenging, and
the forecast doesn't sound rosy.
Yes, exactly. And so we're looking at whatever ways we can fill in gaps and make sure that our community is protected and is able to do what we do. And you know, today, since we're celebrating community media, this is one of the platforms that is under attack, which is insane to think about when we're in a society here in Hawaii and in the United States where we cherish the First Amendment and the ability to converse and have good discussion and be in communion, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like we are able to. And so this platform and doing stuff like this is exactly what we need to continue to do and continue to grow, which is so exciting to see KKCR and Hōʻike coming together, because two media companies, two local dedicated to community spaces, making sure that voices are heard, voices are able to be expressed in a free society, and more importantly, allow us to have difficult conversations like, hey, what are you guys doing, county? That's me. Point the fingers at me and all the rest of the team that we're part of. And so right now, we have a couple of bills that is going through. There's a body board bill that's going through, looking to reduce trash. I think that was a wonderful bill that was introduced for first reading. It should be going to a public hearing in the next few weeks, about 4 or 5 weeks.
Can I ask, I would be lying if I understood what a body board bill is. Can you explain?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. And there's some confusion, too. It's disposable body boards.
Okay.
So there's different kind of manufacturing. So, like, the overall perspective is, like, businesses and product makers, sometimes they decide to make things that are single-use. And these single-use products typically have materials that aren't conducive for our community or for our environment.
Not earth-friendly.
Not earth-friendly. And then they just single-use, right? They just use them and then they break down and they're useless. And then they hurt our environment. So that one of them right now is that was a bill introduced by Councilmember Holland, single-use body boards.
It's really specific about the type of body board. We want to not have them available for sale on Kauai. How difficult is it to ban an item that is commercially available in so many places?
Yeah, typically it's challenging, and this comes to a larger, bigger opportunity, and hoping that there is state legislators, there is an organization and committee behind this, but the concept and the role is producer responsibility, meaning that the people who produce products have a responsibility to the products that they produce. It's simple. So
Makes sense.
What it says, and stuff like that should be accounted for. One of the big ones, and it was just an article was released in Civil Beat about Amazon coming to Kauai, having a warehouse on Kauai, and to distribute products in a faster way to the community that utilize those services. But at the same time, you just think about all the single-use cardboard that is used to put all those products in. And sometimes it's so inefficient, right? It's like, oh, you ordered 3 things, and it's the same thing, but it comes in 3 different packages. So producer responsibility is a broader and bigger conversation that I'm hoping state legislators, you're listening,
Yes.
that can create a state law that allows us to put the accountability from the beginning. And that's the most important part, because when we're talking trash, right, we want to catch the end product where we're diverting as much as possible. But we also got to fight the fight at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
The fight in the beginning, meaning people are responsible in what they create and create sustainable products that allow us to utilize, forever. And if it's not supposed to be forever, then it needs to be reintegrated with the community, reintegrated with Earth. So it needs to be sustainable in practice.
So how much can the county legislate with that sort of thing? How much can they regulate the amount of people that come, or how much can they regulate, if Amazon has a warehouse or not? Is that something they can control?
Well, so part of it is and we got to double check where they're at in their process. You might be touching the mic. Kila is live too now, so if you're hearing some static coming noise, it's Kila grabbing the microphone.
He's having a tactile experience.
He's like, I got some thoughts to this.
It's the new generation, next generation.
So, like for example, the bodyboard, we can like we did the plastic and single-use plastic, we can opt out, or we can choose to say we don't want this going to our landfill, and that's the right of what our county has function over.
Mm-hmm.
When we're talking about ahead in a bigger, broader, like I was talking about, producer responsibility, that will take on different parts of the government. So that is more of a state restriction that can be imposed. And even federal legislation. So we're always in conversation. Luckily, we have great relationships with all of our state and federal legislators who share the same passion that we just talked about. Because we're an island state, we're an island community, and in order for us to function, we all got to work together. We're all in one, as always used, va'a. So it's super important for us to work in all angles. And so we have some leverage, but not complete leverage.
Don't they already kind of limit what comes from Amazon? Because I know there's a lot of things that I would try to order, and it's just not available. It's not available. Right. They do not ship to Hawaii, so it's possible in some way.
Yeah, which this new warehouse might expand that, right? Like its capacity. So the two big things is batteries, right? Like lithium-ion batteries. They have a difficult time shipping because they got to get safely over the seas, and so there's very specific.
Well, thanks for making time today, and tell us a little bit about the board, Hōʻike, and how you guys, I would say, take on your work. How do you guys handle and support all going on here?
All right, well, the Hōʻike Community Media Board serves a collection of individuals who stand firm in the mission and purpose of what community media is, and that is amplifying our local voices, getting an opportunity to connect with our county officials as well, and really allowing the viewer or community member the opportunity to be really engaged. And there's another element that we've been grateful with Hōʻike is that we get to teach young folks and even adults, including myself, production skills of broadcasting, whether it's TV media, maybe more advanced now with all of us and our telephone, the cell phone idea, or the iPad, but the opportunity for young folks, students, adults, community members to become producers and then share their experience or interests in a way that allows you and I and our community to engage with their community and the stuff of their life. So the board navigates sort of the back end of financial and supporting us to feel everything step forward and making this come to life, this vision happen in real time.
Right.
So that is the board's role.
Exactly.
So it's been really wonderful and fantastic to be present in all of the transitions thus far here at Hōʻike Community Media.
Do you guys have a large board? Is it?
We do have a total of 9. We have at this time, so an active 7. So if anyone is interested in potentially being a board member, they could reach out and connect.
Right there.
Myself, Lexi Jones, or like Greg Gaines, our CEO and president, you can call the office in Laco. Set it up for all of us. So we can hear where it's coming from. another way of the proper equipment, how you want to capture your story or amplify your voice in that way. It's really a remarkable way to.
Definitely a need for us to have community space.
Absolutely.
To be able to, offer that to community members, to like Tuesday, tomorrow, open mic. Folks can just come in, schedule a time, and boom, speak freely.
And some people, this is a skill in itself to speak into a microphone. And hope that the way that we've shared it in the past is like when you speak into a microphone, you hope one person is listening, right? So you're talking to someone you care about, very sincere, and then multiple people happen to be listening. So you're actually sharing this sort of one conversation with multiple people.
Yes.
So it's another way to do so. Here at the Community Media Day, but also here at Hōʻike. It's like another way to amplify that voice. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
Me too. I think that's what's allowed me to be here as long as I've been, because there's more and more kind of gratification, relationship building, people that you're working with, organizations that see the value in, you know what, I'll come up and talk about our event or come up and talk about the issues in our neighborhood or whatever might happen during that period of expression.
Can I actually ask, I have somebody here who's a newer volunteer at KKCR who has actually been through some of the programs here at Hōʻike, might want to share very quickly, because we're going to transition after. Hey, love. Hey,
and only.
You're one of the people, this is Love, you're one of the people that I know that has been through the programs here at Hōʻike, right, and have learned so much. How was that like?
Oh my gosh, I feel like it's such a gem, and most people don't even know that it is here.
Right.
You know, and so I try to tell as many, I think I've personally had at least 5 friends come and signed up, because especially when Roger was here, like you had a collegiate level instructor helping you edit. You get to learn about all the equipment, the lighting. It's like you get a master class. People pay to take these courses in college, and it's here and it's available for anyone in the community. If you have a topic that you're really passionate about, you can come here and share with the community. It was a good way for me to actually get acclimated in the community. Like people would be like, "Oh my gosh, that's on the show," and okay, is that our time?
Yep.
Okay, but yes, I would definitely recommend, if you haven't come down to Hōʻike, to definitely come, especially if you are intrigued about learning how to operate a camera and share, your gifts with the community.
It's not a call to action, just a strong recommendation.
Strong recommendation.
Okay. Thanks so much for sharing that, Love.
This is KKCR Radio, your quiet community radio station. You're listening to Media Day, Community Media Day, KKCR.
Locally made products. Healthy Hut, a family-owned business, is proud to support KKCR.
Aloha, this is Chris Pico. I'm North Shore Lifeguard. Sudden cardiac arrest can happen anytime, anywhere. With the pulse point response, you can make a real difference. If you're trained in CPR, the app alerts you to emergencies nearby, so you can help before EMS arrives. You can download the Pulse Point Respond app anywhere you get apps. Island time can't apply to cardiac arrest. Together, we can save lives here on Kauai.
Aloha! Today's Hawaiian moon phase is Mauli, and it is the 29th night of the lunar cycle and month. In Hawaiian, Mauli is defined with the meanings of life, heart, seed of life. It also can be used to describe a ghost or spirit. It is also the word for the fontanel. On the Aina, Mauli is an excellent day for planting all types of plants. On the Kai, fishing is good for all types of fishing. Mauliola means breath of life and the power of healing. Mauli is believed to be a highly coveted moon phase and day to be married.
And now we'll be back to Media Day on KKCR.
Live here. Tiana B., thanks for dropping in. Mahalo for being a solid board member, volunteer for both organizations. Loving that.
We love volunteers. We love volunteers. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Hey, we've got a new guest in the booth at the mic. This is familiar terrain for you.
Well, I'm just honored to be sharing the mic with you and the one and only Lexi Jones.
You're right. I don't know if I've been in the same booth. I've had you on the phone.
Yes, on the phone for sure.
Yeah, we were.
We talked about the building and construction company in Anahola.
That's right.
Hōʻike Community Media. So good vibes with that for sure.
And you also do some radio,
I
right?
do. I do work at a local radio station, yes, here on Kauai.
And your voice is familiar during what hours?
6 a.m. to 10 a.m.
Oh.
Bright and early.
On the morning commute.
The
like
morning
that.
commute, yes. It is a joy.
I'm wondering too, like, and you know how, because most places have a traffic report and a traffic kind of app and all of that stuff. When are we going to start seeing those kind of traffic signs? Do we even have them now? Are we having county messages on electronic billboards about take the bypass road, don't go downtown?
I believe they have the signs just for road work.
Yes.
Road work. Yeah.
That'll list the times and the dates that it will be sort
the
of
difference,
conveniencing
the
traffic.
difference on Kauai is there are no alternative routes. So
Right.
what would the sign say?
Go the other way. Stay home.
Yeah, stay home.
Stay home.
Turn on the radio. Put it on KKCR.
There you go.
Would
There
say,
you go.
stay home, your house. Yeah. Now that's one of the things. Recently, we had a tsunami test. Some people would say it was a test. It was a tsunami warning that was issued for the state, and we dodged a bullet. And there were some things that we learned from the experience. And recently, you guys kind of had a debriefing with KEMA, the Kauai Emergency Management Agency. What are some of the big takeaways, Mel, in regards to community information, getting the word out, and how do we prepare ourselves for whether it's a tsunami, a hurricane, or it could be a fire?
Preparedness, I think, is the only thing we can do right now. Individual responsibility, you know, Jimmy. It's about there's a lot of material out there. You can get them online, or at the Department of Health has it. The Emergency Management has it. We even have it at the council building of being prepared. 14 days of food, water, medication, emergency documents, all of those things. We just got to be better at. The Department of Health, when they came and did their the briefing at our council meeting, they said there's like 80% of the people on Kauai are aware that there are preparedness worksheets around, but only 30% actually are prepared.
Oh, wow.
So that was kind of stunning, and I think we just got to do a better job with understanding these threats. We are in an area in the Pacific that very vulnerable.
I mean, just look around at some of those bridges that were never replaced after was it 58 or 64?
Yeah,
a number of large waves came by.
It's unfortunate, but you know, it is something that we know will happen, and like a lot of people are calling it a test. It was a test of our response and reaction, but it was a real tsunami warning. It was a real world tsunami warning, and I was in the OC that day in the Emergency Operating Center using the information that was available, which wasn't much. So it's very difficult to be in that position where you wanna give people assurances, but you just don't have the information to disperse. So it's not like we have a ton of buoys between Wake Island and Kauai. So once it passed Wake Island, the eyes of the world was looking at Hanalei Bay on the TV. That was the next stopping point. So it was just incredible to watch, but I'm thankful. But we can all do a better job with being prepared.
And to think about the EOC, that was at the Emergency Operations Center or Command, I don't know. What
Center.
Yeah. That didn't exist Iniki times, right?
Oh, no. Iniki was, nothing even close. Yeah,
And
it was.
so, talk about the evolution, how things are being modernized, and what would be the next step for us.
Well, I think we're on track. They just provided a report for us. It's been a several years study with consultants that have created this blueprint for us going forward, and it covers every part of disaster and every type of disaster, including pandemics, on how the county could respond. And that is where Elton and his team at the Kauai Emergency Management Agency is working moving forward. It's a great template. It's a living document. It's not nothing is firm because every disaster is different. But it'll give us a great starting point for us to move forward and create a plan. You know, there's some limiting factors, though. I mean, there's some infrastructural issues that no plan is going to solve. You know, how do you resolve the backlog of traffic on these roads? We're very limited in escape routes. So that is something that I think not just the county, but the state and even the federal government is going to have to take a look at. And how do we get by with creating more access to escape routes?
Right. Yeah, and I want to just tie it in because this is Kauai Community Media Day. How does the EOC work with community media? How does that unfold? What are the ways that we can improve communications? And I might get Annie in on the conversation with us there because we were fortunate enough to be broadcasting during the tsunami wait, and it was definitely, we felt kind of starved of information. Trying to get the latest.
You know, I have given nothing but praise to our emergency management agency because, and more so that I was able to, that was the first, in all my years in the county, that was the first time I ever got to sit in the EOC during a live event. And I had been impressed prior to that simply by how they reacted and responded, but I was even more impressed watching them in action. But the one criticism that I do have was the communication with the public. And I made that criticism known, and it's not negative. It's creative or constructive criticism that Hōʻike, KKCR, you have the ability of broadcasting live, should be in that EOC. My recommendation is that KKCR has a seat in there, and maybe even another radio station. But to me, I think that's where everything is happening, and that is the quickest way. Right now, what happens is the mayor's public information officers in there, or their team, and they release press releases occasionally.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, great minds think alike, because that day I was telling Annie, we should have a seat there. We should be broadcasting.
What I would suggest is to have like a media person that would then call, you know, the local Power 1, the local Power 2, and just say, hey, this is what's happening, so that every radio station doesn't have to be in there crowding everything up, but just to be like, I would put that person on the air for 5 minutes so that we get the current information, and then they call the next radio station, because there was some information that wasn't correct on the press releases, and we were able to talk to people in the community members, because we would put it out on the air like, go to Kaua Library as a shelter or a refuge, and that wasn't correct. And so there was a guy who lived across the road who was like, hey, you should really go to the ballpark. And so he was standing in the yard, and so they would call us and say, Kaua Library not working. So there was like some little things like that, and I loved being on the air for it,
Yeah, I think it's valuable. It's just with a tsunami, though, it's hard because there is nothing. And
there was so much waiting. We were just like, wow, what do we talk about now?
It was horrible. It was just sitting in there and just watching that screen and like, oh, is it receding? It's receding. It's receding. No, it's not.
It's really weird.
And just, watching all the logistics happen in front of you is something. But, in a hurricane or some other disaster, there's updates frequently. Winds change, directions change, but in a tsunami, again, with no buoys, it's like, okay, let's just wait.
And so what our job is on the radio when there's a warning. So watch, you don't have to do it all the time, but there was a warning, every 15 minutes you read that stuff again, because you figure every 15 minutes all new people, and they may not have the information, so you read it again, and then we're like, here we go, the same message again, and then we're going to read it again, and then try to add to it. The one thing that I thought was interesting about our tsunami experience was that there were tourists, visitors that would call and say, I don't know where I am, where should I go? And so when one of us wasn't talking on the air, the other of us was talking on the phone, trying to, okay, where are you? Okay, turn left, go to that place. It was just really odd,
Yeah, I don't know. What do you see?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
And
it was
there
like-
was a lot of dialogue. And fortunately for us that night, I mean, there was information coming in, bits and pieces. It was great to have a partner in the booth and then be able to make the, having the internet available so we could watch some of the Honolulu stations, trying to get information from the governor's office. And there was, that state level information coming out. And it just was good to have access.
You were great for getting the other broadcasts. Like, I would never have thought to get the governor on there. Like, whatever,
Right.
but
And
like,
that
that
was
was
just a
fantastic
Hawaii
stuff.
News Network. Well, I can tell you, the governor is, most politicians won't give up an opportunity to get in front of the camera. So, during disaster.
And welcome to our broadcast today.
Well, like I said, I'm here today as a fan of community media because I think it's so important. And that's just one aspect during disasters or threats. I mean, I think it's critical. And again, this was kind of a different type of disaster because we didn't have the constant flow of info. But in any case, generally speaking, I think we can do a better job at communicating this to the public. And community media is a great way to do that.
And I'm all in. Like, during COVID, like, my re-education tool, like, I went to disaster classes at UH West Oahu. So I'm like, in case there's disasters like COVID, like hurricanes, like anything, like, I want to be able to help in some way. And so the best use I have of that is to be with community media and making sure that we're poised to do the right thing at the right moment. So I'm all in.
And I'll just plug again, individual responsibility and being prepared to me, I think is because then everybody knows what they need to do.
And not to scare people, but to empower them to protect their own selves and their neighbors and their families and stuff like that, just as an empowering thing. I do a show called Stay Safe Kauai, just so that we can empower people to do that. And to hear women's voices talking about preparedness is another thing, because it's a very male-heavy environment, right? Safety. And so to hear, like, no, we're caregivers. We're the ones that can protect our ohanas and stuff, too. So
that's right. And also in your preparedness kit, you should have a radio that is also ran on batteries or solar powered, so it can run whether you have electricity or not, right?
Yeah, I've got one of those crank radios in my car.
I'm getting the finger from our production manager.
I saw the finger. What does that mean?
So there we go. We're going to take a small kind break.
You're listening to Kauai Community Radio. This Community Media Day.
Train in CPR.
So welcome to Community Media Day here. I'm Annie, and I'm joined here by Lexi Jones. I got Mel Raposo, and I've got Jimmy Trujillo here, right? Live, simulcasted on Hōʻike TV and KKCR.
And I just asked Mel about the Village and the Coconut Wireless and the Tuesday, Thursday, but not on Wednesday broadcast. It's a Facebook Live podcast.
Yeah,
we also do it on LinkedIn and YouTube.
Yeah, we started. It was by accident. Mm-hmm. It was by accident when some of the restrictions of COVID was placed on Kauai, and every island did things differently. And it was just I had always had a Facebook Live, and it was poorly attended, poorly viewed. But we did it, just went up and talked about issues of Kauai. Anyway, when the restrictions started being applied and I was getting a lot of calls, and I called Uncle Charlie and I said, hey, I got a lot of questions about this curfew. Mm-hmm. And how about, you want to come join me? He's a former cop as well.
Former law enforcement officer.
And I said, how about if we get the police chief to come on? And so we did. And that show, we got a lot of viewers, and people were asking a lot of questions. So from that moment, we just kept it going 7 nights a week for over 2 years, over 800 shows that we did every night. And that created the Village.
Right, you built up a very large audience base.
Yeah, and we just did it on Facebook initially. Actually, we did it with a Zoom thing that went to Facebook, and then we've evolved the system now. So we multi-stream on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Twitter, all at the same time, and it's live. And it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Like, hello, media mogul, right there. Like, can I take some lessons from you?
YouTube. I learned everything I know from YouTube.
And I mean, and it's something that I know that you take great pleasure in.
I enjoy it.
Engaging, right? And being kind of, I mean, you have such an incredible way with people. And
that's why I like, in fact, you're going to hear it first. Lexi and I are going to start our own podcast.
We are.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I wish we could do it like simulcast on Hōʻike and KKCR.
So here's the thing. Like, I'm looking for money because I want to start a KKCR podcast platform that has all of the podcasts on Kauai on it. So you can have this like package to give, like, hey, you want to learn about Kauai? Here's this whole package where you can find it, all the podcasts about us. And so
Kauai-based podcasts.
You can be one of the pilots.
To me, it's just it's easy, and there really is no cost because you can do it with your phone now. You don't need to buy any equipment.
Right.
And you can talk about whatever you want. There's no FCC laws or anything. It's just the Wild West.
We had guests that came on that got so comfortable, like we are right now, and forgot that this thing was going out live. I'm talking about some high-ranking state officials that accidentally dropped the F-bomb and like freaked out. Said, we got to edit that.
And that's what I'm here for. You actually...
You dropped that one live.
But we try to create this platform so we don't talk about national politics on the Coconut Wireless. We just don't. And we don't talk about the COVID. We just... It's a place where people can come and just enjoy and laugh. Charlie's funny. He's so funny.
Charlie's funny. He's funny.
And that's what we want to provide. And yeah, we don't have the viewer base we used to because not everybody's interested in listening to Charlie and me, but
we have stuff to do now. Before, I remember I was
stuck at home, right? Like,
I was watching you guys like, I'm doing nothing else. I just want to see people.
But it's a great platform just to get information out.
Yes.
We talk about fundraisers. We bring on, last show we had Augie T and Miss Kauai Filipina. And it's just like this, no script, just talk what you want to talk about and just watch the engagement on the viewers. And that's what brings me, that's my therapy. Because I love when it works, because in the early days we had so many glitches and, and now with the system we have, it works and it doesn't glitch. And the energy we get back from the viewer tonight when we do the trip, we do this occasionally. We go down
memory lane,
and we talk about the old restaurants, the old things to do, the old places to visit, the old people that are no longer here. It gets the most engagement.
Sure.
And
do you have recordings of the shows?
Every one of them on my YouTube channel. Yeah, go back to the early ones. It's hilarious.
And your YouTube channel, Mel Raposo.
It's
on
a very
YouTube.
simple YouTube channel.
So
So on the YouTube channel, I have several playlists. So one is the Coconut Wireless. One is the Face with Mel and Charlie, the Mel and Charlie show. I separated those. And we also have the Kauai County Council Roundup, which Hōʻike has been generous in allowing us to do every week to do an overview. So community media is, so I'm a huge fan.
Yes.
I mean, we wouldn't be here without it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I kind of think like that's pretty good radio content too. So if you ever feel like, hey, this was a good one, shoot it my way.
The audio?
Yeah.
Hi, we can just shoot you the audio.
That might be interesting stuff for the radio.
You never know. I mean, some stuff come out, it's like, what?
Yeah, well, I mean, I was like, this one's not clean. Like, let me know.
Lives, it was an election night coverage, and I got great feedback from listeners who were like, where are you streaming this from? Where are you getting that from? And I was like, it's just Mel Raposo's Facebook Live. And you were giving results because you would read out, and there was, it was informal. Listeners appreciated that it was up to date, live, and they could tell it was like,
is this really live? Yeah,
it's like live and direct.
It's really live.
Like, where's that happening? I'm like, we're not there. It's happening where they're at, and we're just catching it through the internet.
Yeah, it's. I just think it's a great platform. A lot of people use it. It's great if you have a business. It's we went out. We used to go out. We had this thing called Feel Good Fridays where Charlie and I, we would bring on guests. This was during COVID, during the pandemic. Everybody was shut down, but we would bring on. On Fridays we brought in 4 business owners, and they had 15 minutes each to talk about their business and what they were serving, food or whatever, and it was live and amazing results they got. In fact, I won't mention names, but one of the restaurants called on Saturday and said they sold out before lunch because so many people went. So it's a platform that anyone can use, and it's incredible. KKCR. I mean, I've been a guest on many times with Jimmy and others, and there's a lot of people that listen to KKCR around the world.
It's wild.
It's wild.
We get, what do we get? Last year we had 156,000 unique listeners, which is double the population of the island. And so I was just like, wow, I'm impressed.
Well, and your advocacy page on our website has been kind of a place for people to utilize, whether it's getting in touch with elected officials or understanding that there's important.
That's one of our highest hits on the webpage is the advocacy page.
Nice. Everybody's looking for information. Our print media on Kauai is not like it used to be. Right. They've cut back so much. I mean, if not for Dennis, Fujimoto, I don't think they would sell any papers on Kauai.
Like what would we have locally produced? Yeah.
I mean, people buy the Garden Island now just to look at the Happy Camper and the obituaries. And I don't mean that to be funny. That's just exactly what people look for. And we don't have news, right? So if not for the community media, you all, I mean, it's kind of hard. Where do people get their information?
So I have one of my pet projects this year on KKCR is about news and information and where do people get their news? How do they want to get their news? Not just like news, but like local news and local information and stuff. And is there a gap in how they get it? Are they getting everything that they want to get? And then is there a way that KKCR can fill those gaps too? And with zero budget too. That's the next caveat. Newsrooms are expensive, but is there a way that we could do that with citizen reporters or different things like that? So that's one of my pet projects. How do you think that people get their news on Kauai then? As a roundup, as a sum up, Facebook,
media.
yeah.
I mean,
is that the best media? Is that the best?
Not at all.
No.
I mean, how do you're on the radio? You're a personality, a radio personality, the one and only Lexi.
The one and only.
So you get calls. You guys put out news blurbs, and it's typically coming off the wire or press releases.
Yes.
But I mean, I don't know where do you? Lexi Jones get your news from? For Lexi Jones? No, I'm serious.
No,
yeah, personally.
Definitely, no, it'd be Facebook. I always check the County of Kauai Facebook or their website, kauai.gov, because it's the most reliable resource for Kauai if you're going to alert on traffic, road work.
Why your garbage isn't picked up.
And why, you might be out of power with KIUC and when's the update, and so you're getting all of these sort of announcements as they're coming available, even for road incidents that happen and they have to shut down the highway, right? So it's like keeping up to date in that regard. But in addition to that, we have sort of the Kauai Now News website, which is brought on by Pacific Media Group, which is our largest broadcasting company across the islands.
In the States.
Yeah, and so they do help us, Kauai, provide information in partnership with the Garden Isle newspaper, which also has sort of dwindled altogether. If there weren't for those key individuals to bring those stories to life, I'm not sure how we would get our youth sports, or we would get those obituaries if it wasn't for the Garden Isle newspaper. So I think there's a bit of collaborative efforts, and then also reminding our community individual that we thank you for sharing the perspective, but let's also understand what you're sharing. We got to make sure we respect other people, because people oftentimes do share what they see, and then they sometimes forget that there's family members and friends involved in said situations, right? And so it's not a moment to share all of the rough parts, but rather how can we get more information that's accurate to inform one another.
You brought up the Koloa refuge, what I still call them shelters, but that's just a very simple example of what happens when you misinform, and not intentionally. It's not intentional, not malicious.
Yeah, of course not.
So how do I guess the question for me is because I've thought about what if I just did a Kauai News podcast and just focus on Kauai News? What do the people of Kauai want to
That's
read
part of my survey, man.
Yeah, it's like,
but
what
then
do you want to know?
In newsrooms, there's like fact checkers and vetting your sources and all that stuff. Like, it gets really expensive,
It sure does.
I know. And so that, I don't want to hear my news from some yahoo, which is why I don't totally approve of the Facebook news, even though that's where I get most of my information, so I want to have that vetted news source and the fact checking and all that kind of stuff, but I don't know how we're getting that done on Kauai.
Yeah, I think social media is a good starting point. So when you get up at 3 a.m. and you that's when you start your day if you're going to do news, and then you find all the stories that you think might that people might want to hear, and then the fact checking has to happen though, because and then like in media today, it's the factual stories that are just plain facts aren't appetizing.
Yeah, they don't grab anyone.
You gotta put that little oomph in there to get the controversy, and then but I think our society has grown to enjoy that, and subconsciously.
Like that's part of their diet.
And
I we've got a message that's going to be coming up here quickly, because Hari's got his finger in the air, and we'll hear from Hari.
You're listening to KKCR Kauai Community Media Day.
Maoli is believed to be
This is Kauai Community Radio Media Day.
Now we're back.
Yeah. And so do we look this way? Hi.
Yeah, we can look at the cameras.
Okay.
They're looking at us. Welcome back to Kauai Community Media Day. Here we are live in studio now. We've got Councilmember Felicia Cowden here. We've got Council Chair Mel Raposo. We got Jimmy T. And I'm Annie. And we're on the radio, KKCR, at kkcr.org. We're also on Hōʻike Television. This is our first ever simulcasted community media
Channel 54, here we are.
Yeah. It's our first to-do.
First of many.
First of many to-dos, because I think that our community media partnership is very important, and it's something that we can do and keep doing, and this like experimentation with the technology has been almost fun. And
yeah, I would say, like, for me, both places feel like home. I think I'm in my 16th or 17th year at KKCR.
Wow, thank you.
And then I have been, Jimmy's been there longer.
Just a little bit.
And then, at one point I was a really active contributor to Hōʻike Television, and I was...
Right, you were a producer, going to meetings, taking, if you will, video footage, and then posting it up so that folks would know, oh, wow, I didn't know that was happening.
Yeah, and I did a lot of community conflicts. And so I would show up where people were, like, having little bits of...
Tension,
and I would show up, and I would get the auntie, the police are coming kind of calls, and so I would show up there with my camera, as I would call myself a legal observer. Whoa. And I honestly think probably one of the reasons I ended up getting elected to office is because of my involvement on both Hōʻike and KKCR.
Being a strong community advocate and then having a platform on the radio consistently did help, I think, get your... like, wow, who is this woman that does all this stuff?
And if I could throw a shout out to, and it's not exactly media, but Kaua Economic Opportunity, I believe you're on the board.
That's KEO.
Oh, I used to be. I used to be.
You used to be, and it's their 60th anniversary this Friday, and so I'll be going to that party, but also that gave me mediation training. And so do that in court, but I would say Kauai Soapbox, which was the show that I had, or have, and now I've kind of upped it a little bit, rebranded it and calling it Felicia's Forum, because I would rather be doing more just conversations. It started off, I got in there with community conflict, and so I was like mediating on the radio.
Yeah. And I think that some of that conflict communication is really valuable on the radio, just to that fine art of getting people off the phone, and then also how to talk to strangers on the fly and how to keep your conversation moving and create interesting radio. And then also my big trip is community problem solving. And that's what our radio, I want to move us towards that.
Yes.
We know what our problems are. Let's work on our solutions.
So when I would deal with community conflict, usually somebody is worried about something. So I'd say, well, this is when the Planning Commission meeting is. This is when the County Council meeting is. And so I would go in and I would get that information. And actually, Mel and I, I'm just throwing out another shout out, is Leadership Kauai. We were both in that original class together.
Inaugural.
Oh, yeah.
Inaugural
you guys
class.
were that original cohort.
We were the guinea pigs.
Who else was in there with you?
Bernard Carvalho.
Okay.
And Tim was kind of part of that, and Jay
Tim
Fafaro, and
Jay was the executive director.
Yeah.
And Tim was helping Jay. We had a large class.
Like, I know all of these names. This is great.
Yeah, and so with the show, we would go and we'd learn and look, and then we'd put it on Hōʻike. But then what we would also do is, I would bring maybe one side of an argument on one week, and another side of argument on another week, and then we'd have them both in there together, and the idea was to problem solve.
Yeah. I mean, and I think that is one of the higher kind of level goals or outcomes we're shooting for, is trying to get that engagement up, that information, up there, good information, so that we can come to that place where, like, oh, I get it, I see where you're coming from, and I think you understand where I'm coming from. Now, how are we going to make this work? Because whether it's a landfill or it's access to your beach that you no longer can get to,
or trees,
that's the current one, right?
that's what it's just
Those are the things that we have forums for those, but we don't often engage them, or they're not so convenient to get everyone participating.
It's reactive. How do we get the engagement early on, so we can make informed decisions that are inclusive of everybody's input? And that is, I think, where the county can do a lot better job. Is this whole thing with the trees, was something that went dormant for a long time, and then it popped up And the kupuna got very upset. So how do we keep the community engaged throughout the process? And that's where your community media outlets, whether it's KKCR or Hōʻike, come into play.
Yeah. Well, thanks for both being here now, as well as being, over the years, strong advocates for programs like this. Or I know Hōʻike has, I would say, benefited from your relationship with the council, doing more services like having council wrap-up, having someone, a dedicated person like Olivia, come in and do a little bit of a wrap-up and an analysis of what happened. Because, you know, if it wasn't for John Gordon at KKCR, we'd never have had a council report, because he just would read the update and go from there.
And then my show has almost become a council report and a government report. And so it's, I mean, at least that's a pretty strong feature on it, trying to help people show up and engage. And I try and separate facts from fears.
Facts from fears. So I have a weird question. What do you think of the civic engagement on Kauai? And I asked this question based on my news survey that I was going with, and they gave me this big booklet of demographics and statistics and how Kauai County performs nationally. And our civic engagement was down in the 40th percentile, which means 60% of the country performs better than us. And that goes like with voter turnout, knowledge of how government works, volunteerism, and there were a couple different metrics in that. How do you think civic engagement is on Kauai?
I would agree with that statistics. I wouldn't argue. I think that's true. And I think if you know, we talked a little bit about our local media, print media, pretty much non-existent on the local issues. So if you read the Honolulu Star Advertiser, you will see many stories about what the county council is doing, whether it's e-bikes or
for Honolulu.
For Honolulu.
Yeah, and that's my argument, that Kauai is a news desert.
When you have a local media outlet, mainly print media, that's covering that, you're going to get more civic engagement, because people are going to know what's going on, versus Kauai, where we don't, right? We rely on the press releases that come out of the administration's office. No one really knows what is happening until it's too late. And yes, we can do a better job, but I think that's the reason Kauai is doing so poorly. It's just you don't know what you don't know. That's what I always say. You don't know what you don't know.
And I don't know how to find what I don't know if I don't know it.
And what I would add to that is that I think social media is almost as fast as the coconut wireless. And there's a lot of social media engagement out, but the way the algorithms work, I think they really work to do polarization.
Right.
And so it can be shocking how people treat each other on social media, and things amplify, and it's not accurate the way the community engagement would be. And I think that we, you know, there's really polarizing things that happen at a national level that I think often are taken out of context. But here, I think, you know, we mostly think about our island till you get on sometimes these social media posts, and then you're going to hear a polarized element of it. I think one nice thing about being council is we get to hear from both sides, wouldn't you say? So I realize how people are in two different bubbles, and they're sharing two different realities. And so if there's 20 facts, maybe 10 are over here and 10 are over here, and they're not looking at the same set of facts. And so it's a little painful sometimes seeing conflict when they're not in the middle enough. And so I think radio and Hōʻike can help, but that's why I try and be really careful that I'm bringing over facts, not fears.
Yeah, I sometimes get feedback from listeners or complaints or things like that we lean too far on one side versus the other, and we are we are restrained by our volunteers and the content that they want to produce. Right. So whenever someone complains, I'm like, I would love to have you and your voice on the radio. You're the voice that we're looking for. Please call in, come in. Can I have coffee with you to learn more about what your things are? And then I hope to charm them to get on the radio, just so that we can have that diverse cross-section of our community for it.
I would say both platforms definitely lean more on one end than the other.
And that's the state of public media.
Yeah, and I try and do some of both, but it definitely, you get pushback. I haven't watched enough of your YouTubes. I used to more.
Mine's fun.
Yours are more like sports and stuff, right?
No, actually, we'll talk a little bit about sport. We talk about,
talk more about food than you do sports.
Yeah. We talk
Still
about,
good.
It's crazy because it just goes where it goes. You never know. But yeah, it's not, I would say very, very little about sports because Uncle Charlie's not really a big sports fan.
Right.
We do have sports fans that will chime in about a game, and I'll say something about it.
Mel's a big sports fan.
Yeah, I'm huge.
Don't let him
Football.
Yeah, football.
But my Steelers lost, so we won't be talking about the Steelers tonight. But we just talk about whatever, and it's like KKCR. It's very engaging because you get the call-ins and you can actually have a dialogue. Hōʻike is more of a one-way presentation, which is vital. I love the fact that they now have a YouTube channel because people can watch the videos and comment. Versus
that
watching
engagement,
on TV and not being able to do anything. So I kind of like it. I will say this, and I mean no disrespect to any prior directors, executive directors, board members of both organizations that currently with yourself and Allegra, the direction that you guys are wanting to take your entities, your organizations is fabulous for the island. I will say that because
I agree.
Thank you.
I'm serious.
Thank you.
I think getting the people to understand that there are resources here on the island that they can actually participate in. As I can't remember the woman that was sitting here.
Tiana.
Said that most of her friends didn't even know what's here. I didn't really know all what Hōʻike was about until relatively recently. And the training, as was discussed with Roger and the other team, it's crazy to think that this is right here and anyone can walk right in here and get access to that.
Yeah.
And the equipment. Before I was in council, I was using it all the time.
Yeah, you got the big camera, the real. When you show up with a Hōʻike camera, they know you for real. a lot of the footage I use when I show videos on my show is my phone.
Your phone. Yeah.
Well, the gimbals, you guys have gimbals now, right?
I got everything.
They're doing gimbals.
Look at the cameras. They got some stuff that doesn't even look like a camera.
Gimbals are really easy to use, and it produces a really quality output.
Nice.
Something happened to my gimbal, which is too bad because then it sort of shut me down a lot.
But great resources for the community, and
honestly,
we should really use it.
It's I am just tickled at how much you can do with community media, and I reference it's like a lot like our brains, like we're using very little of it. We're using very little of what we can do with community media too. So, and our community is very lucky to have community media too. Like not every small rural native based place has this, and they predict in the next year at least 20% of them will fall off because they've lost all the funding that they needed, and I do not want that to happen to us here.
So I want to give a shout out to Hōʻike. They do have active funding, and here's my youngest co-host. This is DJ Melody.
Making an appearance on camera.
This is so awesome. Like all the movers and shakers in the community media world are right here.
Yes, and Alana, you must know Alana.
Well, I do, and I was here early, and I got to watch them all talk.
But so, I'm always open if, especially an alternative voice, if people feel underrepresented on KKCR, I'm happy to pull it in. And
text us.
yes.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. Mostly my job is just writing emails, and then a small portion of my job is talking people off a ledge. So, yeah.
Okay. So you're upset with the station?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that kind of feels like council, doesn't it, Mel?
Hey!
Small time break.
Mm-hmm.
You're listening to KKCR. In 14 minutes, we'll be going back to
Hōʻike Hui was started by Rice Street Business Association. Before we had this space, Rice Street Business Association didn't have like a general hub for all of the events on Rice Street. So like the Rice Street Block Party, the second Saturday night markets. So now that we have this space that's on the intersection of Rice and Crest Street, it's a perfect area.
I'm Kahea. I'm a mama to 4 kids. And they're super cool, and I really like being their mom. I work here at Hōʻike as a ko'okua or doula, and I help mamas take care of their babies, and I help daddies take care of their mamas.
Hi, I'm Kiki. I work here at Hōʻike Hui. I help with all of the events that we have here in this space. The biggest challenge that we have that most nonprofits are having right now is funding. We lost a lot of funding this year, so that's definitely our biggest challenge that we have to overcome. I think we just keep pushing through. We keep having events and bringing the community together, and just seeing that we are something that the community wants and that it's something that brings the community together is something that helps with those challenges. We have so many different kinds of events, so I can talk about what's coming up and what things that we have done. Sundays throughout the month, we do a speakeasy, a pop-up speakeasy, where we have a full bar with craft cocktails, and then in our Kaia'ula room, we have different live music bands. Lady Ipo or Hello Duo have performed here, which is a lot of fun. That one always is super popular, and we often sell out. Showing up, having fun, telling your friends, bringing friends, just let more people know about this space. Our social media is great. We're constantly posting different events. We have a couple different social, like Instagrams. We have Hōʻike Hui, we have Downtown Lihui, and then Hā Coffee often is up to date with our events. So any of those places, we're constantly updating the events, and Facebook as well.
Come have a cup of coffee with us at Hā Coffee and talk story. That's another way. But check us out on Instagram, and that's where we keep all the events updated and what we're up to.
Oh. So there are new modalities for it, because what we want is to encourage the development at tax breaks in the right places, which is where we need it, where we need like workforce housing, gap housing. And am I getting too grindy on these things? This is what I talk about on the radio all the time.
I think I'm still following.
That's where I
talk about it all the time. That's what I do.
No.
That's Felicia's forum.
There's so much value in that, though. That's what I'm trying to say. I got to run because
you got to run.
I was like a 15-minute block that extended to.
Yeah, and we're in it.
I waited for a half hour to get my turn. So
yeah, thank you. Thank them. I didn't. This was so much fun. I forgot about the time, and I supposed to be in Kaua by 4, so I'm gonna be late.
You're late.
But you can text them and say, "I'll be there. Just run me."
Yeah, they're probably listening to this right now. So anyway,
we're sorry we kept them so long.
No worry, it's all good. This whole platform that we're experiencing right now, where on YouTube, well, it will be on YouTube.
On Hōʻike.
On Hōʻike, and would love to see more collaborations like that for Kauai, because I think this is going to be good. I think it's going to be well received. I think it's going to be beneficial to so many people that, I think there's an opportunity here for. And even talking like this with what's happening at the county council, we talked about maybe the newspaper's not covering it, right? So that people don't know. Well, if Hōʻike and KKCR jointly puts out this thing.
So how can we increase our civic engagement by putting more civic stuff on the community media? And then if they do like a survey or whatever, how they get their metrics, and what if it's at 50% next year? I would feel like a freaking success.
So I'm going to plug civic engagement. What I'm doing this evening, I'm not sure what you're doing it for. We see each other in all different kinds of places, but I'm going to the Filipino Chamber of Commerce. Are you going to that? Okay, I'm going to plug him to do that. It's at
there we go.
Let me look at what time it is, and it's at the Philippine Cultural Center.
It's Monday,
and it's open to people. It is. There. I'm checking my calendar to tell my chair.
Tell me what it's about.
It's their annual meeting, but they're specializing tonight on
the housing. Is that at 4?
Well, I'm going to look. So I'm going to tell him. And I'm telling everybody on the radio, it is 5 to 7 at the Philippine Cultural Center.
Lord have mercy.
And we have all kinds of things in this.
Double booked and out of minutes.
Not really double booked because I got to be in Kaua at 4 and I'm going to have to be back at. No, she just said.
See, I'm his boss. He thinks he's my boss, but tell you what.
I appreciate that. I totally forgot. Well, as soon as I get in my car and I look at my car, I'll see it and Anyway,
Mel Raposo, thank you for being here today.
Mahalo. And all of you back there that the people cannot see or hear, appreciate you guys. There's a lot of high-tech stuff in here. I wish you guys, maybe you can pan the camera just to show what that thing looks like. All right, guys, take care.
Is there anybody else waiting outside?
I don't.
That's it.
I'm in here.
We got 6 minutes in our broadcast.
Oh yeah.
It's a good time for. We got 5 minutes.
Okay.
6 minutes.
Okay, so I'll let Squash Blossom come in because I actually have another engagement.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Okay. All right.
Cool.
Thanks, Lisa, for stopping by.
All right.
Nice. Musical chairs. So this is, you can take this seat. Yeah, so this is our first ever, thank you, Felicia.
Yes.
First ever simulcast community media day broadcast. It was 4 hours of stuff, but on TV and on the radio.
Yes.
And this is to celebrate and kind of highlight all things community media and the things that we can do for our community. I think it's like our brain. We're not using even 10% of it, so.
Especially now that AI covers that remaining 10%.
Oh gosh, yeah, we talked about Escape the Algorithm. That was a campaign that we did a year ago, I guess.
Right.
But still so true, where when you're doing community media, you're getting something new all the time, stuff that you didn't realize could be part of your life. Now is in your life. So.
That's it. And our new guest joining us live on TV and on the radio, Squash Blossom.
Treasurer of the board.
Indeed.
Yes.
And interim secretary, I heard as well.
Yes.
So we're looking for some assistance. If anybody knows somebody who wants to be on a board and help.
Get involved.
Shelby do the things that she's doing on the board.
Wants to take anything off my plate. I will gladly serve it to you.
And you were a member of the Community Advisory Board for the Kekahu Foundation as well.
Yes.
One way to get started into this volunteerism. So thanks for doing it.
Yeah, thanks for you guys. I feel like I know Annie does
an infinite amount of things. So
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
We actually just changed my title to executive director from general manager, because general manager is like someone who orders light bulbs, but executive director is someone who has like long-term vision planning. I still order light bulbs, but I get to do that long-term stuff
You
too.
take out the trash every now and then.
I do. I sweep.
Not everyone else does.
Yeah, I sweep all of it.
Provide canine security services.
Yes, he's very efficient, takes his job very, very seriously.
So thanks for joining us here on the tail end of our Community Media Day. I know you were at school, working, doing your thing.
I was, yep. It was a full day and extra long. We had parent-teacher conferences started today. So that's like my first experience being on
that side of the
teacher side
table.
of the desk. Yeah. So
oh, wow.
Ooh.
Well, congratulations on making that transition from parent-teacher conference to sitting at the round table and talking story on the radio, broadcasting live on cable TV, and streaming worldwide on YouTube.
Yes.
Wow. How was your weekend day? I was going to ask you about Saturday. I didn't get to say goodbye. I know both of you guys were at Ale Coco helping the folks at Malama Hula
That was a beautiful
restore
day.
the wall.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, I mean, it was, it's always amazingly powerful to be there in that space and just see so many community members coming together for a shared goal and vision and purpose. And, you know, while many of us don't really know what we're doing, we do our best to receive and follow the guidance of the alakai who are there regularly and do have some idea of what they're doing. And I think that I've noticed a large part of what seems to be the purpose of that event. I mean, more so even than the building of the wall, because I know they've had to kind of go back in and redo it after community events that have happened previously, just because, you know, as I said, we're all lay people. But yeah, it's great to great to see everyone coming together and that's revitalizing
a great community event.
Yes.
I want to thank Hōʻike Television for hosting us. I want to thank all of our guests that came in. Thanks sliding into home, Shelby, and everyone who is here today. So grateful, and everyone who volunteers at community media, everyone who listens to community media, everyone who gives to community media, all of those things. Thanks for engaging with us in all the ways that we can engage, and we'll see you on the internet, we'll see you on the radio, we'll see you on the television, and now I want to turn it back over to Doc.
Because
Mahalo for listening to Kauai Community Radio. This has been Community Media Day. Now we're going to go back to transfer our signal to the Signal Center, the headquarters of KKCR on the North Shore of Kauai. Back.
Hōʻike Hui was started by Rice Street Business Association. Before we had this space, Rice Street Business Association didn't have like a general hub for all of the events on Rice Street. So like the Rice Street Block Party, the second Saturday night markets. So now that we have this space that's on the intersection of Rice and Crest Street, it's a perfect area.
I'm Kahea. I'm a mama to 4 kids. And they're super cool, and I really like being their mom. I work here at Hōʻike as a ko'okua or doula, and I help mamas take care of their babies, and I help daddies take care of their mamas.
Hi, I'm Kiki. I work here at Hōʻike Hui. I help with all of the events that we have here in this space. The biggest challenge that we have that most nonprofits are having right now is funding. We lost a lot of funding this year, so that's definitely our biggest challenge that we have to overcome. I think we just keep pushing through. We keep having events and bringing the community together, and just seeing that we are something that the community wants and that it's something that brings the community together is something that helps with those challenges. We have so many different kinds of events, so I can talk about what's coming up and what things that we have done. Sundays throughout the month, we do a speakeasy, a pop-up speakeasy, where we have a full bar with craft cocktails, and then in our Kaia'ula room we have different live music bands. Lady Ipo or Hello Duo have performed here, which is a lot of fun. That one always is super popular, and we often sell out. Showing up, having fun, telling your friends, bringing friends. Just let more people know about this space. Our social media is great. We're constantly posting different events. We have a couple different social, like Instagrams. We have Halehui, we have Downtown Lihui, and then Hot Coffee often is up to date with our events. So any of those places, we're constantly updating the events, and Facebook as well.
Come have a cup of coffee with us at Hot Coffee and talk story. That's another way. But check us out on Instagram, and that's where we keep all the events updated and what we're up to.
Aloha, my name is Leah Kalmai-Drake, and I am the Education Director here, and I do HR and admin here at Kauai Museum. Why did I start here? Because I love telling history. I love meeting people, and I love seeing children come here, and then their children come here as well to learn about history. Many volunteers that come. They're so wonderful. They help us to document everything, to help us to preserve, and help us to put together exhibits such as the one that we're in right now. I would definitely say our King Kaumoli'i exhibit is my favorite because of the history that we share with our visitors, talking about Kauai and Ni'ihau and why we're so unique. Definitely support us by becoming members. We always try to strive to perfect that. The Kauai Museum was originally the Lihui Public Library. The Kauai Museum has over 1,000 different stories that we share with our visitors and our kama'aina. Okay, come visit us at the Kauai Museum. Hope to see you soon. And we're open Monday through Friday,